Kanpai! Oh my god, I think that was the most unanimous Kanpai, not unanimous, in sync Kanpai we've ever fucking done. Anyway, welcome weebs to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast, episode 130, where we'll be talking about the full review of Winter 2024. It is finally over.
Dark winter is over.
Technically, it's not finally over, but I mean, we'll get into that in a second. First off, housekeeping. I'm trying to rush this because I really want to get into the topics because, you know, Naz has got the first thing I really want. Anyway. So, first off, housekeeping. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube malarkey. We read every response. Let us know what your thoughts are in the descriptions. I'd love to get people's takes on various shows like Frieren, Apothecary Diaries, and Solar Leveling. So, yep.
There's been a bit of discussion in the Discord about that stuff as well. So if you want to, you know, please leave a comment, but also come to the Discord and let us know your thoughts there too, because you can have more discussions with other people.
You can apprise us of that as well, Nasuth. Right. So, last week it was highlighted to us that there were some bleeps and bloops that were creeping through on my audio. This was due to some Windows screw up and has now been fixed. For reals this time. If you hear any, please continue to let us know, and thanks Rouge for pointing them out already. This is not intentional. I did not know. I thought it was coming through on my microphone, but it turns out my settings had been reset, which was annoying. Also,
because Windows likes to do that sometimes.
Oh, fucking Christ, tell me about it. Right. Also, we also want to highlight that there is a few shows that are, you know, that we can't really give a full season review because the last episode won't be out until this has already come out. To this, you know, this episode. These shows are Metallic Rouge, Sengoku Youko, and The Witch and the Beast, right? So we do not have the last episode for those three shows, though I think Nasuth is like, it doesn't really fucking matter for Sengoku Youko.
Yeah, but, technically speaking, I think Thaylien and I have the same number because I could probably lump that in with something else, but...
okay, right, okay.
I'll go ahead and give it what I can.
Right, so, this is because all these shows started late. They were like, you know, no earlier than the 10th of January. But we will say, if you stay tuned in the Discord, if anything drastic changes, you know, we will pivot our points of view and things. In all honesty, to me, Metallic Rouge could, like, really go south depending on that last episode. But
I mean... Go south.
However, I think it's safe to say that we've got a fairly solid grounding in all these shows. Yeah. Right. So, let it begin. Let loose the dogs of war.
Okay, well, very, very briefly, you want to go over the shows that we've already dropped? Just you know, get them out, name them and shame them.
Okay. So, Banished from the Heroes Party, I Decided to Live a Quiet Life in the Countryside, Season 2. It's just, you know, like, Buchigiri, Fluffy Paradise. Hokkaido Gals are super adorable. It just wasn't my dress-up darling. Shaman King Flowers.
It's just the same again. So
cool. Yeah. 'Tis Time for Torture Princess. Just I wasn't the target audience.
Wholesome, but not good. But not for you.
Nasuth.
All right. Let's swap on over. Let me get to the ratings page.
Okay.
Because we're please put on solo leveling. Solo, please. Fucking, why is it getting a second season? This, if you couldn't tell, this is a poop. I'm going to give it a 2-star poop because I will give it credit. Why did that not come up? Hello, poopy.
Nasuth broke it.
Oh, the stamps
are... dude.
Stamps.
Just turn them on, dude. You just turn them on?
Just turn them on.
Right.
There we go. Why were they off? How strange. Anyway, it is a 2-star poop. I'll give it 2 stars because technically speaking, there is some quality here. The animation's not bad. The fight scenes are pretty good, but that's about the best I can say for it. This was a 4-star poop. It was still poop, but it was 4 stars. Here are the couple of good things. The montage of Jinwoo and his partner, who started a business together that took too long to get going, but taking on the C-rank dungeons is generally pretty fun, because maybe it's because it's the first time in a while the story has felt like there's any traction. It's mostly felt stalled out and wasting your time. They don't really seem to skimp too much on the big fight animations. Like I said, the fights are pretty good. It does suffer in a couple of other places because of this, but I mean, in this show, I suppose if you're gonna allocate your resources somewhere, that's the spectacle you want to have. Hope you enjoyed that. That's all the good points I can come up with. It's all bad from here on out.
Can I just reiterate? One of your good points was he opened a shop.
No, it's not a shop.
A business.
They're starting a business. As in, they're going into business together.
But specifically, it's the montage of them taking on these dungeons.
Yes.
Right.
They have to take on
montage. The montage was the good.
The montage was
right.
good.
Okay.
They have to take on a certain number of dungeons for this guy to qualify as a clan leader, I think.
Yes,
now,
Guild Master or whatever. Yeah.
Your guild master, and so taking those on was actually a little bit fun. I would agree.
Right, Nasuth, rip off that Band-Aid.
I don't know if I should. Okay, you know what? They're spoilers. It's just spoilers, kind of from here on out. I don't know if I should tag it because
talk about some of the negativity, right? How was
why
was the story consistent? Was it grounded in a logical
No, I don't know how anything works.
Right?
I don't know how anything works in this.
So the world exploration is piss poor, yes?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So he fights one level of monster essentially, and then immediately afterwards it's like, man, that was so easy, but I don't know if I could take on something the next level up. Ooh, I don't know. You just kicked ass easily, no effort put into it. Why are you? But on the other hand, then the show. At the same time, he keeps doing this one thing where he's like, man, this next dungeon could be really tough. I really need to buff up my stats. But you know what? I'm going to go do it anyway. And then immediately hits a wall. And it's... He had a teleport stone. He lost it once. And then in the later dungeon that we just did it towards the end, it happened again. He pulled it out of his pocket. He was like, maybe I should go. Knocked out of his hand. He learns nothing. Nothing.
Right. Okay. So we've had the spoiler-free anger hole. Right. Let's slap on spoilers. Come on. Let's go. I'm loving this. I don't care if this one takes longer. You didn't hit it. Hit it again. There you go.
So, he killed an assassin who is another person, because but it's a bad guy. He kills other dungeon people for fun,
Okay.
And he gets a stone off of him. He is instantly after that warned by somebody that, hey man, you know that guy you killed before? His brother's after you now. You should watch out for yourself.
Okay.
It was in the party with the spider boss that where they were trying to kill him and the other guy. Yeah. So he's immediately warned about that by one of the officials essentially, and doesn't use the stealth stone until the next dungeon that he's in, and it's like, you could turn invisible whenever you want. If somebody's hunting you, maybe that's a good idea. No.
Wait. Hold on. Let me get this straight, right? So he kills someone that's trying to kill him,
Kills an assassin in one of these dungeons.
Yeah, he kills a guy that's been that tried to leave him for dead and tried to kill him off so that they could get more loot.
No.
That guy had a brother.
No. Well, yeah. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Go ahead.
So the assassin's brother is now out to kill Jinwoo.
No. Okay. All right. Sorry. There was the spider boss. Remember the spider boss?
Yes.
Where they were going to get mana crystals.
5 or 6 dudes.
The other party. Yes. Yeah. That guy's brother is after Jinwoo now, essentially. But the assassin is a different guy. The assassin's a different guy who was hired to kill 3 prisoners who went into the dungeon, a different dungeon, with them because they needed to fill out their ranks. So you need a certain number of people to go into a dungeon. So they're like, we'll just throw these 3 prisoners in there. And he'd been hired to kill them, but he just does it for fun, really. And Jinwoo happens to catch up with him, even though the guy sees that the path splits and then rejoins. Because he's in the room where they rejoin, and he's like suddenly surprised that somebody else comes in there in the middle of his murder spree. So he's like, "Oh, I got to kill Jinwoo now." So Jinwoo's, obviously kills him, and because the guy is an assassin, he has a assassin build. This is the first time they bring up the idea of builds in this show.
Overbuilds, yes.
He gets an assassin, a skill stone as a reward, and when he uses the skill stone, he permanently gets a stealth skill, an assassin skill that makes him invisible.
Wait, confirm. He got a reward for killing another hunter
from the system. From the system. Yeah.
The system that only he has.
Yes. When Jinwoo is in danger, the system he has presents him with a thing quest. Of saying, "You must survive. You have to kill this person to survive."
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, doing the quest gets him a reward.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so he doesn't use that, even though he knows he's being hunted. There's no clear descriptions anywhere in this system, such as when he's presented with a job change quest. It doesn't tell him what a job change is. It doesn't present any, what's gonna be in the dungeon. But this is also the one where he's like, right before that, he's like, man, maybe I should up my mind stat. My mind stat's pretty low these days compared to my other ones. Mm-hmm. And then he goes in the dungeon anyway. Somehow he knows that he needs to go to the middle of nowhere to activate this one, even though the other 2 he could activate wherever and it didn't matter. Somehow he knows he needs to go out to the middle of nowhere for this one. But he goes in there anyway without leveling up his mind skill, even though he could have done plenty more C-rank dungeons to do it. And almost immediately runs out of mana. And it's like and you can't use any recovery items in this
moron.
Absolute moron. And then after he does the job change quest, and he's like, I know what it does. It gives me skills related to my job. Like, no, it changed your job. It completely changed him to a necromancer build, apparently.
So, if this is... So, I feel like this is utilizing terminology that's very heavily used in Eastern, like, MMOs and things. So, like, for example, in World of Warcraft... But the job quest isn't... Hold on. In World of Warcraft, your class or job is tied to the character and you cannot change. In Final Fantasy XIV, your class is... your job... Right, is completely independent from your character, and you can go from job to job. You can just job hop easily. Yes. So you only have the one character.
Yes,
but you do have to go through a little quest thing to attain the ability to change into that job. But in Final Fantasy, it's really easy. It's like level 10 to 15 kind of range. It's not even.
But in this one, it's really hard.
It's just
Okay.
But you would think he would suspect it's more like the Final Fantasy VII one because this is Final Fantasy XIV one because this is a lot of MMO, a lot of Eastern gaming stuff anyway. But no, he's like, no, it'll just give me stuff related to my current job. But no, that's not what it does. It changes him to a necromancer. Why did he assume this? Why does he assume that being a he just makes so many assumptions in this entire show just out of nowhere.
Yes. What it feels like to me, Nasuth, is that they are putting these things in having skipped out on. So I'm guessing that the manhwa itself has like reams of explanation down the side.
It must.
He's just
It must.
he's filled in details about something. Yeah,
it does.
And so they just skipped in any way putting exposition on there, even just the tell don't show kind of thing, as opposed to the show don't tell. They've skipped them all entirely, and so you're just reacting to literally the events with no background.
If we're good to turn off the spoilers, I want
to hit 2 more points, and that's it.
Then I'll say my thing first, right? So I ended up talking to Silverlight, who has read the manhwa. He basically binged the whole thing, and he says that the first fight with the red wolf steel jaw thing, yes. Right?
Yep.
That is so much longer in the manhwa, and it's over in like a heartbeat in the anime.
Surprise me.
And it was a really hard fight sort of thing, but it was just nothing. It was a breeze. And there's so much exposition, there's so much world building that's in the manhwa that's just not in the anime. So
it's an overlord situation. Got it.
Yeah.
He gets the last two things. He gets a bunch of bonus points for doing stuff in the job change class that he was supposed to do anyway. Ridiculous.
I saw this in your notes, Nasuth, and I had to point out they did. It did say when he beat the boss, he again got the thing of survive. The longer you survive, the more points you get.
Yeah, but then
Good luck.
But that wasn't just for surviving. It was for a bunch of other stuff along with that.
So, for example, what I actually did in there was he survived, he killed all the enemies, and he did more than what the quest had actually asked. That's why he got the bonus points. But it was so badly expressed, I had to go back and watch that little bit.
Given that it made it seem like it was life or death,
times.
And he was gonna permanently die, like he has in other instances. Didn't come across at all. And the other one is I would much rather be watching the side story about the other hunters who lost on the initial island and how they're going to retake it, because that's a subplot that starts coming up. But because I don't know anything about them, it's pointless, annoying sidetracking.
Yes. Who are these S-class adventurers? Why are they so traumatized by this Jeju Island thing? Why are they even going back to Jeju Island? Don't know.
Stay tuned to season 2, maybe. Anyway, that's all I have for spoilers, unless you have any Thaylien that you want to add.
No, I'm not going to do any spoilers on this one.
Ugh. Oh my god!
So you're saying
minutes.
You're saying just don't touch this.
I would. I mean, if you can ignore the logical problems and the lack of explanation, sure, it's a great spectacle. It's beautiful in a lot of cases, but
I mean, to me, the pacing's all over the place.
Read it first, and then when you watch this, you can see the exciting bits come to life with movement and know the background, so you don't have to actually pay any attention to the talky bits.
That's fair, right? Okay, then, shall we move on?
Please. For the love of God.
Right, I am going to do my favorite, which if I can... Oh, God, no, it's not in here. It's in... It's last season, isn't it? It's... Crap. This week. There it is. Right, so I'm going to do Apothecary Diaries. Right.
Nice.
To me, my personal opinions, Apothecary Diaries is... This is... damn, I wish we had half stars now. I'm going to give this a 3-star must-watch. Like, this is absolutely stunning. There's a number of instances where the... what's he called? Where the anime like differs from the manga, right? There are events that if you read into it, it's just like, this doesn't make sense. Why did this event play out the way it did? It's more than likely it's actually just in the anime. There is so much subtlety to this show of who people are, their value, their importance, that realistically you kind of have to conspiracy theory draw the lines between all the bits of evidence, because you're able to put a more of a picture together by doing that. If you are not one to unwind the mystery, you're not gonna like Apothecary Diaries. But I love, yeah.
Do you think it would make those tenuous connections would make more sense culturally, like somebody who was used to the kind of intrigue that would come up in? Okay.
No, it is literally just the mystery, right? Okay. It is just you get the subtle threads of connection between these events, and you're just like, oh my god, is so and so this thing, and did that really happen? And at one point in time, towards the latter half of the series, it starts to slow down, and you're like, why are we hearing these random side stories? Like, why? And they're all connected, and it's just like, it's incredible. It's a fantastic series. Everyone should go watch it. The animation is so on point. The fourth episode, a lot of people say, 3-episode rule should be the limit. In all honesty, you need to watch the first 4 episodes. We had it months ago. There was a meme floating around of Mao bitch slapping.
Oh yeah.
Man. The shit out of one of the ladies in waiting for the first concubine of the emperor. And that is what is going on here? And I had to watch it for myself. The characters are so well designed. It is so deep. It's an absolutely fantastic series. If you love that kind of mystery to it. The great news is it's getting a season 2, and as we said in the news, it's coming out next year. I cannot wait. This is so well done. Now, don't get me wrong, they could flub it, right? But it's the same studio and everything. So
have they announced a dub?
I don't know. If it hasn't had a dub,
it should.
Someone's sleeping on it.
Doesn't look like it. That's a
no. Up.
Second article.
There.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there English you go.
Dub. Yeah. Yep.
In November.
Yes.
Yeah, so it probably already has the English dub. So
that's
it's got an English dub.
There you go.
Yep. So it's
an easier way to watch it.
It's absolutely fantastic. I'd love to hear it in English. I'd love to watch it again. So everyone should go see this one. It's a must watch. Seriously. So goddamn good. Any questions?
Just to add, though, even though the dub is an easier way to enjoy it, the Japanese version is incredible. Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's fantastic! It's gorgeous. One thing I always struggle with when it comes to Chinese names is the actual
the names.
Yeah, the names themselves, they're so complicated for me to remember. Yeah. No, not just the pronunciation, but they're but the great thing about the character names in this is I think they purposely went for easy names. They are like Mao, Junshi, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
They are so much easier. There's one of the concubines that we spend a lot of time with. Still can't remember her name. Right. So it's a lot of It's everyone has their motivations. It's just such a great show. Seriously, please, for the love of God, just go watch it.
I need to finish it desperately because I was in love with this show. Mm-hmm. I think I loved this show more than Frieren even.
Huh? Mm. Right.
Okay. So I'm going to do a nice quick one. I think, just try and get some out of the way. I'm going to go with Mashle, Magic and Muscles Season 2.
Yeah, keep going.
So this one, I'm actually going to put this pretty high. It's an acquired taste at 5-star.
Well, I'm going to wait until the actual image comes up. There we go.
There we go. So this show is consistently funny. Okay, for me. The stakes keep going up in every new twist of everything, and the solutions are often just as dumb. The story goes fully into the thing of he started the show with the idea that people shouldn't find out that he has no magic, but it fully leans into this thing that more and more people are finding out, right? And that just ups the ante with more and more people finding out. The people at the top are determined to either kill him or see that he proves those people wrong. And this divided nature of it plays really heavily into who helps him and who doesn't. Towards the end of the show, the plot fully kicks in. You meet the overarching bad guy. You meet the truly powerful people in the world, and see, what happens when people actually gain power in this world. And Mash is just kind of caught up in it, but he's integral to it. This whole push of his to prove people wrong, that he can become one of these divine visionaries without magic. It seems like he's just going along to get along, but he's really taking it on board. You can see him getting more and more determined to actually follow through. And so I say that some of the solutions to the problems he gets into are dumb, but they're actually quite well thought out by the writers. So they are dumb solutions, but there's no way they wouldn't have worked as long as Mash could pull them off.
Right.
It's
believable in the universe.
In this universe, yes, he is. So you have a one of these grand wizard duels going on between their equivalent of Dumbledore and the equivalent of Voldemort in this world, right? They're in the air and they're throwing spells all over the place, and one of them's controlling time and one of them's controlling space. And when it looks like it's really bad, Mash comes in to flying knee kick the bad guy. And you wonder how the fuck he gets up there. But you remember back in the very first season, when they were trying to teach him to ride brooms, and he couldn't because he has no magic, and he's there in the air, and he's actually just kicking his legs really, really fast, so they're a blur underneath his broom to hold himself in the air. It's the same thing. So you turn to Mash. Mash is doing the dramatic pose, like, yeah, I just sock that guy. And then his teacher, his headmaster, turns to him and says, "Mash, you truly are amazing." In his mental thoughts, but those legs are ridiculous, and it pulls back to show him flailing his legs still to stay up in the air.
Anime if it was made by Tex Avery.
Exactly. And I love that they're expanding this world. They keep going with this thing of how you can get the stakes higher and higher, and involve Mash more and more in the story, and yet keep the main character consistently the same kind of airhead. One of the bad guys shows up, takes him on. He was the bad guy at the end of the first season. Comes back for round 2, and when Mash actually confronts him, he goes, "So, since last time we met, you may have noticed I've gotten stronger." And he's like, "Wait, you don't remember me?" Why are you acting like this? And you pan to Mash's view of him, and the guy's hair is making Mash think of his whole head as a show cream bun.
Oh my god!
So his hair shape makes him look like a show cream bun to Mash's eyes, and that's why Mash doesn't remember him, because he just looks like a show cream bun to him at the moment.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Anyway, so it is well worth the watch. Go through it if you don't mind a joke being repeated so many times that he's just One Punch Man in this world, okay, and that is a joke. If you don't mind that, you'll really, really enjoy this show. It's actually way smarter than it seems.
So one of my problems with the first season, why I just couldn't keep watching it, was it felt very listless. It felt very much like, Mashle was just going from one experience to the other, and there was no real plot, does that change at all?
That's exactly what I was saying. As you go through this, you see signs in Mashle as he's getting more and more determined to actually follow through with this. What was an idle thing, he becomes more and more determined to do it. The more people tell him he can't do it, the more he's determined to do it. Even to the point of a little bit of ridiculousness. They actually make a joke of him saying, "I'll do this anyway," and kind of like, wow, as everybody else goes, he's way too confident for no reason.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I might give it another go.
Everybody has this fantastic, unique magic. This guy uses musical notes and things, and the magic is really inventive with what they do with it. Everything from guys that can use gravity that we saw before. He had his power reduced, but then to make sure it still hit hard, he reduced the area that its gravity affected to like a postage stamp size and cast it on the back of a person's neck to slam him into the ground. So he only had a little power, but he used it right, and it just smashed a guy down.
It's really hard to tell in this screenshot, but like this is a giant chasm that somebody made, and like all the debris and stuff is pouring into it. It's actually really beautifully animated. I remember getting that screenshot.
Cool. Right. Should we move on to the next one?
Absolutely.
Right. Let's go ahead and get Sengoku Youko out of the way, because I admit I dropped this one. It's not bad, but I dropped it at episode 8 because it's probably fine. So I would probably give it a nothing special 4. I'm gonna go ahead and, which is down from 5.
I mean, to be fair, you dropped it. Like,
yeah, but I think I wasn't the target audience is the problem.
Okay.
And I think a younger audience would have an easier time. Like, Inuyasha was aimed more towards like 14, 15, maybe 16-year-olds. I would say this is aimed more towards like 10 to 12-year-olds, maybe 11 to 13-year-olds, something around in that range. There's a budding romance that shows up between starts up between the girl who's half Katawa, half demon now essentially, and our Ronin character, the guy in the green over here. But it feels like it's wedged in because it's a shonen and we need cute teen romance. It doesn't really feel natural.
Why does that building look like a pig?
Oh my god. Anyway, keep going.
I don't know, but it has a fist. But her split personality, as a good point, her split personality thing, or her blended personality, I should say, makes up for some really fun moments where like it's pointing out, hey, you should admit this thing to yourself, and it ends up saying it out loud where he can hear it, and so that's kind of fun. But it's kind of spoilery. It's used for a really cheap, like power up sort of thing, like galvanizing thing for our characters, and the only reason like they survive the encounter is because the bad guy says, "Yeah, but I want to fight you fair and square, not when you're all beat up." And so he and the other bad guy leave, and it's just like, but your job is to kill them all. Kill them all. So that's, and the reason they're stuck there fighting is contrived in the first place as well. But like it is really pretty. The animation is really well done. Generally speaking, I like the characters. It was just that particular moment, that whole arc of the show was just like, if this is going to be the path it takes, that's probably fine for a younger audience. It's not for me.
Yeah.
So that's why I dropped it. If you're just looking for something simple and easy, and without too much effort put into it, go ahead and watch it. It's nothing special. And that's
Fair enough.
Nice short one. Make up some of our lost time.
Fair enough.
Right.
So you know what you got for us.
The question is, what would you like me to cover next? I think...
Cover me.
Gross. I think for balance of good and bad sort of thing, I'm actually going to go with the Unwanted Undead Adventurer. Right.
Oh.
To me, I just don't basically want to like load all my good stuff at the start and then just to me, I'm gonna say that this is a 1-star acquired taste. Right. So I really like the series because it very much has the sort of monstrous protagonist. I like shows that have the unusual good guy, the one that everyone would condemn, so on and so forth. If anyone knows my gaming taste, if anyone knows my taste in video games, everyone knows my undying passion for the Legacy of Kain franchise. Where you're playing vampires, right? I like the idea of narratives where effectively from an outward perspective the hero could be seen as a villain just because of what they are, right? And it's a good diving board to invest in a narrative. Unfortunately, right, Unwanted Undead Adventurer doesn't really do a great deal with this. Our main protagonist often hides his reality from the world around him, and no one seems to think anything for it, which is very... It's a missed opportunity. Yeah, it's very convenient. It's too convenient, and it's very much a missed opportunity. I would have loved it if he got chased out of a town or something, just because someone saw his hand at one point and they thought, like, he's got the plague! It would have been a nice touch and things like that. It also shows, it has this very strong underlying narrative of, don't judge a book by its cover. And again, that's a strong narrative device that I thoroughly enjoy. The magic system in this is barely explored, but as usual, our main protagonist has to be overpowered, and as a result can use every type of magic possible.
That's the thing, he wasn't to begin with, was he?
Yes, yeah, exactly. As human, he didn't have this problem.
Yeah, so there's the three magics, three types of power in this world that only get explained like very slowly. Okay, is spirit, which is your warrior spirit and helps you do special techniques with a sword or whatever. Magic, which is just actual magic, you can imbue it into weapons for enchantments, or you can cast its fireballs. And then divinity, which we get explained later, is literally the power that's bestowed upon you by the gods if you do the gods a favor, and it's used to return things to their natural state. It's like a healing, but also a restorative function. And with that, being able to use all three is rare enough in itself. But he only had a tiny bit of it at the start. And it's only by gaining power as he has as an undead that he's able to.
And it's also usually if you can use more than one, then they're each weaker or something. But his he can use all three, and his are powerful.
Now you also get this thing that gets introduced later on, where some rare masters can combine spirit and magic, for example, into an attack in your, with attack technique with your weapon. But that's rare enough, and he just kind of goes ahead and does it.
Yeah, he tries and succeeds, and it's just like so. This, to be honest, I feel he has more character depth than the likes of most fantasy isekai protagonists that are cardboard cutouts.
Yes.
He does feel like he has his own motivation for doing things, which is actually genuinely a positive, which is why it's firmly in the acquired taste, right? But unfortunately, I would say the season peaks about halfway through, when realistically he then proceeds to do the same thing kind of over and over and over again. The stories themselves, they're not bad, but, you know, again, like, you could binge this in an entire afternoon and just go, right, now on to the next thing. You know, let's now for something good. You know,
do they ever like explain what? Do they ever revisit the dragon or the person he found living in the
I'm not going to tell you anything because that's. I love how Thaylien is just going like, no. It's like no.
It's kind of not really. The dragon, not really.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's spoilerific, but you know, whatever.
Well, I mean, they just blatantly sequel baits the end of the series, and that's just.
I don't think it's going to get a sequel. I don't think it's going to get a sequel.
It doesn't. I don't think it's going to get a second season. I don't think it's done well enough for that. But they just blatantly sequel bait it by giving him the last minute in the last episode, kind of something that. Oh, okay, there we go.
It's
where the rest of it's going to go from here.
It's kind of like. It's the sort of ending to a series where, you know, yes, you would like more, but you're okay with not getting any more. Does that make sense?
That's less bad.
That's not. Yeah, it's not as bad as like, you know. But I need more.
Ragna Crimson actually does that too, which I'll get to later. That's not that bad. That's not too bad.
Okay, then, cool. Right. So, should we move on to the next one?
Yes. Is it?
It is you, things.
No, it's all mine.
Yeah,
it's mine. You. Okay, I want to do. Let's get. Because I've got two of these, so I am going to do Tales of Wedding Rings.
I can't believe it's not hentai.
Yes, that one. In fact, this one I will give you a rating. I can't believe it's not hentai on this one.
Hooray!
So we do get to use that. But
what's the actual rating?
It's going to be a nothing special 4-star.
Or just give it a second.
Yeah, those do stay up for a long time. Maybe we should make this one shorter. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So this is a nothing special 4-star. And that's because, well, it's nothing special. It's a generic isekai fantasy thing where he's going out getting a harem and gaining power. But they do try to throw in elements that have, you know, some import there. So you get the smug wizard character. That's the female protagonist's grandfather, and yet he is in fact the great mage. He's incredibly powerful, and he kind of does know more than everyone else. He's actually kind of funny, shall we put it that way?
I gotcha.
It's because they even put in this thing where he goes to an elf village, and he picked the Ring King, our protagonist, finds the Ring Princess that he's going to marry as well, gain the power of wind. But it turns out the only reason she's the Ring Princess is because her older sister fell in love with a young human man, and was banished from the village for it. And she returns to basically rule over the kingdom, while her younger sister, the Ring Princess, goes off on adventures. And she says, yeah, no, I never found that guy again. I was banished because of him, but I never got to find him. It's been 50 years. I wish I could meet him again. His name was so-and-so. And smash cut to the carriage as they're all riding away, and somebody like tries to annoy the grandfather by calling him so and so the great mage, you know, like sarcastically, and you go, oh, so it's him that the elf princess fell in love with, and he didn't say anything the entire time he was there, like a badass.
Oof.
And it doesn't. It falls flat, but it's still funny. They say try something new. They say, okay, they go looking for the 5th Ring Princess, and the entire tribe doesn't exist anymore. So, what the fuck's going to happen? Yeah, what the fuck's going to happen? The answer is And do I want to put spoilers on this? I don't think anybody's really going to watch this, aside from the occasional naked titty. let's just put the spoilers on this one.
Just in case. Just be a little safe. There we go.
So, what happens when they realise that the fifth princess is missing is the evil king resurrects and starts summoning monsters on their location, and they are helpless against this entire horde. And so the Grand Wizard sends them back to the original, to the other world, to the protagonist's homeworld.
Wait, really?
Yes. So 4 princesses and him all go back to live in the apartments they were living in before for a couple of days, while they try to figure out what the fuck's going on. So they gain points for this kind of thing. I'm like, oh, okay. So they just said, yeah, no, you're never going to win. You've only got 4 out of 5 princesses. Go the fuck home.
This world's doomed anyway. There's no reason you need to come down with us.
Exactly. So
that's actually pretty good.
They immediately lose points again, because it turns out that the missing princess was turned into an automaton and sent to our world, or the regular world, to wait for the Ring King.
What?
Yep. She was turned into a robot, a robot was constructed to look like her, and then was imbued with her spirit, her soul, and then given the ring to take care of, and sent to our world to wait for the Ring King to find his power.
What?
Which makes 0 sense. But they now, having all 5 princesses, they're able to open up the portal, go back to the other world, and start taking the fight to the Abyss King again, at last. And it baits a second season out of it. But so gains the points for doing something I wasn't expecting, loses them again immediately for a nonsensical fucking arsepull of a solution.
Wow.
So is that the only spoiler?
That's it. In fact, that's the end. In fact, that's the end of what I'm actually going to talk about with this one. If you just like seeing different types of girls with their titties out as they go into the baths and stuff, then yeah, go ahead, watch this show. It's nothing special.
If you enjoy Wolves and Harem, no, I'm kidding.
If you want some actual isekai, there are better ones out. There's lots better isekai out there than this. So,
hey, you know what's coming back this season? Mushoku Tensei.
You know what else is coming back?
Konosuba. Yeah.
Yes, the superior comedy.
I hope they don't flub it. I really hope they don't.
I really hope they don't. So
anyway, that's for later. Yeah. I think I'm going to do a good. Well, what I say, a good one. It's one that I enjoyed. Hikari no O, or the Fire Hunter. So, I think I have to give this one a 4-star acquired taste. As much as I love it, I think that the art style and some of the pacing is really going to turn people off, which will keep it from being a 5-star or must watch even. But it's really that's part of what I like about it, is the art style. It's so non-standard anime, both in the art and the kind of story, the way it's telling the story, that it's really kind of refreshing. It's not just like, oh, it's an isekai, but good. Oh, it's a slice of life, but it's good. Oh, it's a shonen, but it's good. It's really trying to do its own thing, tell its own story. Even though there are some similarities. I mean, obviously, there's no original stories out there. They're living in a post-apocalyptic world where most of humanity's been wiped out by X thing, and there are a few people in charge that have some of this old power remaining, essentially. You know, that's a story you've seen before, but, like, I don't know. The way they tell it is really good. Both the body and mind horror that you kind of saw a little bit in the first season and even in the beginning part of this season is much more pronounced in the second half. I don't want to go into why, but it is, and it's really nice. The one overriding message in the entire show, along with the sort of environmental message, is that humans should live in tune with nature, is also that humans should reject the gods that rule and manipulate them and take the world for themselves. So it's fine to have technology, but you need to use it in tune with nature, not to necessarily dominate and subjugate nature. Which is a message I can get behind. We get to learn a lot more about what makes the gods powerful, the world they inhabit, the true origin of the fire fiends, and the fell beasts. So the fire fiends and fell beasts are what they hunt to get their heat source, essentially, since they can't use fire in this world. The blood of these creatures essentially can be used as a substitute. What the flickering flame is, which is a thing that's been ever present since the first season, what it wants, and just a bunch of other stuff. And I don't think this is really too spoilery. I put it as in potential spoilers, but I don't think it actually is. While we get basically all the answers, and we get to see the start of the new world, because, obviously this seems like the very end of the show. We only get to see like tiny little bits of how that's actually going to play out. It mostly just ends on a really sweet note otherwise. I say really sweet. There is still some very tragic moments along the way. But that's really about it. I liked this show. I don't know if Xeno would, but I really enjoyed it.
Why do you think I wouldn't enjoy it?
I think the pacing would be a problem for you. There's a lot of points that they kind of go over a few times. There's some very slow, contemplative moments where they're sitting and talking or about things, or I don't know. I think there would be a little bit of pacing trouble.
So don't get. I mean, pacing is really important to me, along with like the general overall narrative. But if it's something worth like contemplating over, like someone's death, or what impact this thing has to them, so on and so forth, like that works, right? In terms of a long, methodical, process. But when it's just like, what tea do I have to drink with this biscuit?
There might be a little bit of that, but not too much.
But you understand what I mean, though. It's like, so I kind of feel that this might work for me. Do consider it like, we'll talk about it in a bit, but I enjoy Delicious in Dungeon a lot more than you do, and that is very slow in pace, right? So
I also want to stress that there's an actual arc for our main character, the little girl. There is actually an arc from beginning to end for her, and it's there's a lot of really good stuff in this. Maybe we'll give it a try sometime.
Yeah, sure. All right. Am I next? I'm next, aren't I?
You are next.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna. So I watched the last episode of this. Was it last night or earlier today? I think it was earlier today. Right. And I'm going to be talking about Shangri-La Frontier, which is another leftover from last season. Right. So we're talking autumn 2023. This show is everything Sword Art Online wished it was. Right? This, right, oh god, I'm giving this a 5-star acquired taste, right? I don't think this is going to be for everyone, right? Because, Nasuth, you've had very reasonable
it was good.
Reasons
it just wasn't
why.
For me,
Exactly, right? Now, if you are a gamer, right, our protagonists do everything fucking gamers do, right? Even to the point of trolling other gamers, right? Which is fucking brilliant. To the point of, going around buying out all the items in the district, like all the auction houses equivalent sort of thing. You know, just buying out all the items of a certain nature, right? Just like, you know, I'm just going to buy all of them because I have the money, right? The grounding in how the abilities work is logistical. It is there. It isn't like, oh, well, I'm gonna believe I can do this. I'm gonna believe I can think faster than a computer, right? And I'm like, belief is not something that computers tolerate. But at the same time, it still has its...
What are the numbers on belief? Can I? What's the variable for that?
-2. But again, the narrative still has its very much whimsy and things like that you would expect with an easy-to-go plot, right? So we have we have NPCs that do not act like NPCs, right? Otherwise, the plot would just be like, what the fuck is going on? So you need to have that immersion breaking, otherwise it just doesn't work. Yeah, we have kind of a reverse on stereotypical character archetypes, where not only do we have a girl stalker, right, for our male protagonist, that's common. What we don't have is a girl stalker that is more badass than the sun in the game. That could, you know, she will wreck shit up, right? So honestly, it is actually a really decent show, and the great thing is, it's actually getting a season 2 as later this year, which was really shocking. It's getting a season 2. I don't know if it's a 2-core in fall. So I'm like, yeah, I'm totally down for that. I will say the series kind of just sort of like stops, but I feel like it's
if they knew they were getting a sequel anyway, then yeah.
Well, it's not just that, but I also feel that they were just... There's not really a good point in this sort of narrative that you can just press the pause button, right? It was very similar with...
Since this image has come up, I will say as to the girl, both the girl you were talking about and the tone of the show, seeing her in her full gear in one of these starter areas was pretty funny. Pretty funny.
You know, she's decked out to high heavens, whereas the scrubs around her are like,
it's
still
so accurate.
Right, you know, that's like, again, playing Final Fantasy XIV, when I've finally outgrown the the first expansion's gear, and like I find someone wearing it, I'm like, look, it's a scrub.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, it's fantastic. So I love this series. This is everything fucking... Now, can it keep the tone? Can it keep the pace? Can it keep the whimsy for another season? That's another question. This could just fall flat, but I love it.
One more question. You're comparing it to Sword Art Online. Is that just because it's VR, or is there an actual... Like, are they actually? If it's not spoilerific, are they actually getting?
No,
stuck
it's because they don't get stuck in the game, right?
Okay,
it is just for the gameplay elements, right? You know, I could compare this to Solo Leveling. I could compare this to a lot of isekais where
MMO and not.
It's an actual fucking
just
game.
Using the okay.
You know, the main guy just goes like, I could go to the first town, literally called First Town or Firstville or whatever it's called.
Firstia?
Or I could turn something like that. Or I could turn around and just go that way. Like, fuck the tutorial, I'm gonna go do what I want. Right?
Yeah.
You know, not saying that I've done that recently, but anyway, so yeah, I really enjoy this. I think a lot of people will, so yeah. Let's move on.
All right. I'm going to change to one of the ones that surprised me. I picked this up after dropping Shaman King Flowers, which is The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil.
Oh god, I have to find it. Is it that one? I think it's that one.
It's a random blonde anime character. Anime girl, you know?
That narrows it down.
Yeah.
Random blonde anime girl, but with a big scythe. Yes. So, I genuinely enjoyed this one. Okay, I'm putting this easily.
He's thinking.
I thought you actually broke it.
I actually swapped onto something, and my push to talk button started typing.
Sure.
And I had to undo it. So this is an acquired taste, 1 star. So it's not the best because it loses consistency towards when you actually take the thing of, well, what are they actually doing? You know, the plot is that thing that is completely nebulous at the moment. They're still in the stage at the end of the show of defining what even the actual setting is, which is kind of bizarre. But on the way to get there, you've had so much fun. Right? So the basic premise of this, as I said in the 6th episode, is that heaven and hell are at war, but hell is kind of giving in to sloth and not trying as hard as it should, and people are kind of giving up. And our protagonist has been sent to the human world to find a rallying kind of figure, an idol or a leader that can galvanize the troops and give them something to fight for. And so he's out there going to different places to try and find. His choice is to go to a school in Japan to try and find an actual idol, and runs into a girl that seems perfect for it, except she's an angel and kicks his ass. Okay. And therein, when she kicks his ass and enslaves him, and therein comes this battle of wits, which is played out through the whole thing, where he thinks the only way he can get out of this servitude he has is to basically make her fall for him. And at the same time, she thinks the only way that she can actually finally control him is if he falls for her. And so you engage... you have this engage in this spy versus spy kind of back and forth. I'll do this to make myself seem cute. Well, I'll do this to make myself seem handsome. I'll do this to make her heart flutter. I'll do this to make his, to engage his male protectiveness.
It's Inuyasha, but with an intentional intentional romance instead of an accident. Oh my god! Yes.
And so they do in fact end up. After they get into some fights with other demons and things, and she tries to use him as like a demon radar to find demons that she can send back to hell. But then her family gets involved. I'm not going to go into spoilers on this one. It turns out that she's actually on Earth because she's kind of an outcast. And she's trying to work her way up. And everyone else kind of rejected her and was cruel to her in her family. And it takes a demon stepping up and actually fighting for her cause to kind of set them back and say, oh, all right, we'll actually let her be her own person. That
Maybe
kind of
she's
thing.
onto something.
Yes, and you actually get these surprisingly good combat scenes with this going on. But at the end of things, it's still no closer to actually showing what the show's about, if you see what I mean. It's all been so far about these characters, and it majorly sequel baits. We've got this woman here who is our demon's boss, and sent him out to do these, and actually makes him check in with her and phone him. But she acts like she is really into manga, in the sense that she's expecting certain scenarios should play out. So if she dresses like an older teacher character, then he'll behave like she's an older teacher, and so she expects certain scenarios to happen with him. And baits the end of the second season by showing up in his room at the end of things and pretending to latch onto him. And it just doesn't there's no progression. But again, I thoroughly enjoyed it, so it gets a good score out of me.
So
Sure.
the question I have for you is, you say it sequel baits really hard, right? To the point of not getting a satisfying conclusion to the season, or
Weirder. To the point where I think that this was actually originally supposed to be a 2-core thing, and they just cut it in half.
so it's. But
Is it
do
gonna
we know
have
if it's
a-
getting?
I think that this was actually supposed to be where the rest of the season kicked off from, and it hasn't reached it, so it's just leaving it as a sequel.
Do we know if it's getting a second season?
No clue. No clue at all.
Have you looked it up?
I have not. I was actually going to put it into the rumours for next week and ask, if that was a thing.
Okay.
Sure.
So, yeah. It seems like it's ramping up to start a story, and that the next episode would be where we actually started it.
Right.
You see what I mean? So, yeah, if you take it as its own self-contained season, that's why it doesn't get a higher score, because it just kind of like, what was the plot? You know? So, yeah. Let's move on from this one. I enjoyed it, and that's
About the best you can say for
there
it.
are people out there. I think there are people out there that will really enjoy watching it too, especially these bits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I think you told us about this before. Yeah. Right. Go on, Nasuth, what you want?
Right, I'm gonna do one of the 11 episode ones, so that technically we can't totally finish it. I'm gonna do Metallic Rouge.
Okay.
I'm still gonna go ahead and rate it because obviously, yeah. To me, I don't remember what I gave this before. I didn't write it down like a fool. But it's an acquired taste 2-star, and I'm pretty sure that's down. I'm pretty sure it was like a 4 or 5.
It was an acquired taste 4-star.
There you go.
Because I wrote it down.
It's thank you. It's still good, and I hope we do see more sci-fi shows as a result. But I also feel like it has issues. Like it likes to keep the audience in the dark about important things that the characters find out, which is supposed to produce a sense of mystery, but in reality is just kind of frustrating. I have an example written down, but it's sort of spoilery, so I don't want to necessarily go into it.
Yeah, we will in a bit, not now.
There's a point where Rouge is fighting somebody, and they just kind of have a thing happen that's quickly covered up with some jargon that doesn't actually seem to mean anything. And it bugged me because this kind of thing happens several times, which leads me to say into the belief that it's more sci-fantasy than sci-fi. We are dealing with technology here that is indistinguishable from magic in a lot of ways.
I think...
Yeah?
May I interject?
Of course.
I feel that the series suffers dramatically from not being a 2-core series.
Potentially.
I
Yeah.
think that had this series more room to breathe, the last 6 episodes would make so much more sense. But it feels like they're trying to cram 2 episodes into a single episode, as opposed to taking 2 episodes to explore an entire narrative like they did at the start. Right? At the start, it took 2 episodes.
Ties directly to one of my other problems, which is the characters don't really feel well defined in their personalities, aside from 2 or 3 of them. They're just 1 note or 2 notes, and that's it.
Yeah, there are certain characters that have really poignant, conflicts, actual proper fights and things, that just, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
Right? And it feels, if we had a whole nother core, this would have done so much better. Now, again, we haven't seen the last episode. This could actually get a lot worse. Right, the ending is I mean, are you caught up on all the episodes that are currently aired?
I am, yeah.
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 And I I think this is worth a bit higher in terms of a score. Like, I'd probably keep it at like a 4 or maybe as low as a 3. But it's gorgeous. The soundtrack is fantastic. Certain scenes are animated so damn well, and characters are doing things in a manner that kind of befits them, right? Whereas there are just some characters that are treated like stormtroopers that you're just like, who the fuck are you?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like the overriding message that, I don't know, it's weird because they're like, they're almost portraying it as though freeing a slave race is a bad thing.
Oh, no.
It's very complicated. It's not exactly that, but it's very complicated.
Right. It's I think it's time for spoilers.
Okay.
Right. So we'll give people the time to like abandon ship, but I think that there's specific elements that are just like, oh shit. So one of the important parts of the narrative for this is an old war that happened between two alien races, and humans were caught in the middle. Right.
Well, probably in fact the same alien race, but based on
different factions.
Saw the actual usurpers, but yes, two different factions of the same race. Yeah.
We've only seen the usurpers, the other aliens, for like half a second.
Yeah, but and they were basically the same.
They did kind of, right? But the to me, right, it's not a case of the usurpers are trying to free the Neans, right? The usurpers are trying to control the Neans, right? They're trying to turn the weapon that was used against them.
Because they do warn. Ava does. Ava? No. Ava? Yeah, Ava does warn about that. Like, I don't want you to have the code because it could be used to enslave the Neans even further. Yeah.
So there's odd hints and things. But again, I really hope that no one's here that like a huge part of the narrative is like, oh yeah, so we're doing the duties of our father after he died. And like, oh, and who does it turn out the big bad is? No fucking shit. It's like, to me, it's so
it wasn't a mystery
obvious.
At all. It really wasn't. It was just frustrating that they were like, oh, we're making this a mystery by not showing you his face. Yeah, but I know who it is. I know. Just show it. Just fucking, why are you doing this to me?
But I think the problem is, right, had the series had more time to explore stuff, they would have been able to refute, oh, it can't be him, we went and dug him up, right?
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like, dear God.
For all we know, right? This is a Neon copy of him, to be fair. But
exactly. But still, we knew who it fucking was. Like, you can fucking see.
Yeah.
The interactions between the characters. Actually, I don't know if you have anything else to say, spoilers wise.
Not really. No, I don't think so. No. Okay,
let's turn them off. To me, the interactions between the characters are spot on, right? It's like everyone is such a well-defined character. They're all, being themselves. But they also grow as well.
I'd really say that's only true for Naomi and Rouge, though.
Who else is there to talk about?
Her brother, Ice, Eden, lots of them.
You're saying these names, and I'm just like, who? but okay, fine.
Exactly.
Yes, it's true for
that's my point.
Okay, it's true for our main two protagonists, and I'm not gonna lie, they're the two I care about. So, but okay, yeah. So I like the series, and I just hope that we see more. In all honesty.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind more. Like, I don't hate it. And again, I think if you go into it expecting less hard sci-fi and more sort of fantastical. I mean, the transformation is essentially like a magical girl transformation. Let's face it. It's because
it's not explained.
Fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
Well, one thing that's never explained is, can all Neans do it?
Yeah.
Right. Moving on. What do I want to do next? I'm gonna do... What did I do last? Shangri-La Frontier?
Shangri-La.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the 7th time loop. Something, the whole series name, I can't remember. We just have a 7th time loop. God. This is not going to be for everyone. This is definitely an acquired taste. But to what end? I'm going to give this a 3. I have a 3-star. This is a 3-star acquired taste for me. Right? I do genuinely enjoy the series, but it kind of goes a bit wrong, right? So, 7th time loop. Need to add it to the thingy. Right, so the animation is fantastic. The characters remain true to themselves. There's a big part of the series which is... Wait, have I covered this before at all? I don't think I have.
Did you pick this up after the 6th episode? Okay.
I think I did, right? To be fair. Okay, right. So, what is 7th time loop? Okay. this. So the whole... So the 7th time loop is effectively... We have a duchess who is due to be married to the prince who will later become the king of a kingdom. And he ends up basically telling her to jog on, right? You will not marry me, get out, so on and so forth. But she ends up being disowned by her family, and she's got nothing but the clothes she's currently wearing. She ends up leaving the capital and ends up finding some traveling merchants. The traveling merchants then take her in. She then learns how to sell stuff, how to make profit, how to trade goods and services. She learns something of value. Before she was, as she grew up, she learned how to be a queen, right? She, how to be a good wife. That was it, right? She didn't learn anything of any value to herself. Then she gets caught up in a war and dies. She basically comes to... it's like several years later. Several years later, after she's developed these skills, she gets caught up in a war and ends up dying, right? She then comes to, again, at the point where the prince is publicly going, I will not marry you. You are piece of scum. Get the fuck out, right? And she realizes that she's gone back in time, and she ends up changing her path. She goes home before her parents find out what the prince has done, right? So she collects her things. She then tries to go to the merchants, but the merchants have already left at this point because she was able to spend time at her folks, right? So then she goes off and she goes and becomes like the handmaid to someone else, so on and so forth. And but no matter what, she always ends up getting caught up in a war that is led by that guy, who is the emperor's son of another kingdom, like another region, right? And so he's like, he's basically been the reason why she's died every single time. And the series starts with her on her 6th time loop. They're at the losing part of a war. She is like a royal knight sort of thing to another, family member or something, to another region. She always leaves her home. And she has to fight, our would-be emperor. And she tries her damnedest. She manages to cut him, but fucking hell does she lose, right? She then wakes up again, and this time, you get to see her like in the 7th time loop. Instead of waiting for the prince, she's just like, Prince just goes, you're no longer gonna be my fiance. You're excommunicated. Okay, thanks, bye. And she just fucking pegs it, right? She doesn't wait for him at all, and she bumps into our would-be emperor. This is the first time she's ever done this. He was at the castle, right, when, and she catches his eye, especially when she then proceeds to jump off the balcony so she could get home faster. But when she gets home, she discovers the prince, who has, treated her so badly, waiting there with his new fiancée, and he's trying to make her feel bad, right? She's like, if you want to get married, you get married. It's nothing on me, right? It's you don't want me. I wouldn't make a good wife, so on and so forth. Okay, thanks, bye. She's just trying to get away from the situation. Immediately afterwards, the prince sends some guards, the blonde prince sends some guards to stop her, and she's about to get attacked. She then nicks the sword out of one of the guards' scabbards, I can't remember, and blocks the attack from our would-be aggressor prince. And they're sort of like eyes lock and everything, and then he asks her to marry him. So she is now living as the would-be empress,
as the bride of the guy that caused her death 6 times
so many times
so far.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's really interesting how she gets out of so many situations. Like, one of my favorites is that so on the way back to the Empire, there is an attack. There's some bandits at the front of the carriage line, of the coach, and he says, stay here. So he leaves and locks her in the carriage. She basically goes, yeah, I ain't doing that. And immediately gets a lockpick, and just, well, not a lockpick, but like a hair clip.
Hairpin.
And basically, hairpin. And basically picks the lock. And she goes, I had to do this because of the number of times in, my second or third life where the Duchess or something that I was a maid to got herself locked up in her bedroom and injured herself, so she had to learn how to lockpick, and that's why she does so she just unpicks the lock in the carriage, and he's like, how the fuck did you get out? And everything she does is more and more of a mystery to him, and he becomes infatuated with her. It's a great series. The only problem is the last 4 episodes, I think, just drag. It's just what the it's a good series. If you got nothing better to watch, go for it. But
so if you say it's all the whole thing that the author wrote was the build-up, and kind of didn't think of where to take it once the build-up had been done.
No, I feel like there's more to it, and basically the studio that produced it decided to linger on the part. They didn't pace it out properly. They knew where they wanted to end it, but instead of pacing it out evenly, they basically rushed the beginning, and then as a result kind of left the last quarter, last third just stagnant.
You said it starts on the 6th time loop. Does it kind of explain what happened in the first one before the 7th one starts?
In the first one before the 7th one starts? Sorry, explain.
Okay. She's in the 6th time loop.
Before
does it
the 7th one?
Yes. Does it go flashback and show you what happened during the first loop, or the first incarnation, or the second incarnation, the first loop or the second loop, before the 7th loop actually starts?
Oh no, not before the 7th loop actually starts, right? It does it when it's needed, right? It does it as a plot device. So, for example, it doesn't show you any of the second time loop until it's relevant to the 7th, right? It doesn't show you any of the third time loop until it's relevant to the 7th. The only time loop we know nothing about is the 5th one. You know, so we know that her 5th time loop is different. She took a very different path in life, but we don't know what. Right.
So the 6th one was all about her learning to be learning combat.
Yeah.
So that's where she ended up fighting him.
Yeah.
Do you think there was a transition period where she tried to be like an assassin?
Quite possibly, or a thief, or something like that. But like, you know, so she knows medicine, she knows like biology, she knows chemistry. She learned from a lot of people. She's gone to like loads of different countries. As far as I understand it, she's never stayed in her home country.
Because each of these loops takes years, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they all take years. The only one that doesn't is like the 7th time loop, because it's we don't really know how long it takes. But yeah, that's you know, and again, it's great. It does it does really good character build up. It, you know, the logic behind a lot of choices is funny. Stupid things are like called out. There's one point in time where she's trying to pretend to be something she's not, and like, you really think I wouldn't notice? I'm like, maybe. So yeah, I enjoy it, but unfortunately, the sad truth is, the end just drags.
Well, that's a shame.
All right, so that's a good one for that. We haven't had this on the show so far before with the reviews, but
given that was your first
spoil
review,
the mood,
and your last review, good timing, good time on it.
I'm going to spoil the mood with the strongest tanks Labyrinth raids. A tank with a rare 9,999 resistance skill got kicked from the hero's party.
Oh, poor Thaylien. Is this your solo leveling?
This one. This is, yes, in a sense. Okay, this is my solo leveling for the review. This is a 1-star pass. Okay, because, like solo leveling, I feel that they've just skipped whole pages of explanation to get to the bits that they can animate, rather than coming up with ideas of how they could tell a story. This is just terrible. They've skipped so many steps. You start off with a guy who, without explaining any of this, the idea, what I've found out, is that there are adventurers in a world where everyone that becomes an adventurer has what they call an absorb shield. It's an overshield that takes damage for them before they get hurt, and it's ranked on a points system. So some people have as low as 1,000. Our man has a shield, the maximum level of
shield,
shield of 9,999, right? And it can be used to cast abilities. The hero's party that he was with, the hero had an ability called Life Burst, which basically used a portion of his absorb shield to deal a slashing ranged attack, that deals heavy damage. What he didn't know was that this guy actually has a tanking ability called Sacrifice Shield, and it was hidden from him, that allows him to take hits to his shield from other people. So instead of his allies getting hit, his shield takes the hit.
And so they're just constantly having their shields, using their abilities. So
they think they're all fine, but no, his shield keeps breaking every time the hero uses Life Burst, because it's just actually he's sacrificing the tank's shields instead. So they kick him out because they decide to go for what they call off tanks, mobility tanks, instead, and kick him out. So he goes back to his home village to take care of his sick sister. They then make a big deal of the point that at the bottom of a dungeon is a stone that can grant wishes, right? And so that's why the people are dungeon raiding in the first place. What they don't tell you is that there's one at the bottom of every dungeon the first time you go down it. So when a dungeon opens up near their village, conveniently, he goes to raid it, he beats the boss with his team and gets a stone, but it doesn't actually cure his sister. It just kind of like makes her feel better. And so he has to, it turns out, oh no, we're going to have to go raid other dungeons and keep going. It just, there's no explanation whatsoever. The people he finds, the situations he gets into, there's guilds of adventurers, and because the dungeon's opened up near his village, the guilds are going to be interested. So instead of allying with one of these guilds, instead they go to one of their parties and say, fuck you all, I'm starting my own thing, and you can actually get with me or leave. Fuck you all, I'm doing my own thing. And we've got no idea
with
why.
Blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. And then to prove them wrong, he goes to raid the dungeon in their city, and I think he kind of cheats because he's got one of his companions all of a sudden has the ability called Dungeon Walk, where if they get down to a certain level, they can teleport back there when they re-enter the dungeon.
Wait. Sorry, hold on.
It's like a teleport. Sorry,
no,
guys, go ahead.
Wait, no, I just want to clarify. So, are we saying that if the dungeon has, let's say, 15 floors, but as long as you get to floor 10, you can then go from the surface straight down to floor 10?
This one character can, and take people along with her.
My question...
ability, yes.
Right. What if it's only like a 9-floor dungeon? Does that make the ability useless?
No, no, because she'll go down to level 9. It goes
it's
to
probably depending on how many floors
she's
there
been
are.
to.
Yeah.
So this dungeon
it goes
they're going
to any
to
floor she's been to.
Yes.
Yeah, there's not a minute. It's more like
Yes.
Have you ever played Diablo? Oh, of course you have.
More like it.
And
Yeah.
you're doing your your randomized dungeon thing. If you need to teleport home, you can just teleport home anytime and then go right back to the same spot. It's like that.
But okay,
yeah.
hold on.
No,
Sorry.
This isn't the weird. You're going into this, and you don't need to. It is just this random. So she cheats. They cheat the system by having her get escorted down to level 50 on this dungeon.
Yeah.
Coming back up again with an escort, and then when they go to raid the dungeon to beat the boss, that she takes the team down to level 50, and they just beat level 51 basically. Okay, it's that kind of stupid. The first time we meet that character and her sister, there's twin sisters. The first time we meet them, it's just like the former hero comes along and introduces them. They go on a dungeon thing, and from nowhere, with no explanation, turns out that if they kiss, they fuse into one person with both powers.
And there's no setup for that anywhere.
No setup, nothing. None of it is set up, none of it is explained. There is some kind of plot, but it just goes weird.
This is fucking wackadoo.
It is. So it's like this person is attacking him here is his childhood friend who's a knight, and she's got a really powerful shield as well, and to just demonstrate that he's managed to unlock his final ability, which is life conversion. All the damage he takes to his shield, he can then use it as a multiplier for a single hit. Right? So if you keep healing him, he can take, 30,000 damage and turn it into, 130,000 damage dealt outwards. So he takes some chip damage off her sword, and then breaks her shield instantly, just to prove he can.
No explanation. It doesn't sound like any of these powers are thought through. Like, if it was a case of
That's how I feel about solo leveling too.
Yeah.
He's gonna get powers.
Okay. So, just the thing, the tank powers are thought through. Okay, the tanking powers. His first power is strong body. He's immune to status. His next power is provoke. He can get enemies to attack him instead of his allies. His third power is a sacrifice shield. So he can take damage on his shield instead of his allies taking damage on their shields. The fourth power is where it gets silly, which is this life conversion thing, where the damage he's taken to his shield, he can turn it into an attack.
I mean, that's not too. That's like retribution in a lot of other settings. That's not too.
But here's the thing, though. Sorry. No, here's this is 100%. These are abilities that you expect to see in a video game. These names are actual paladin ability names, right?
Yeah.
From World of Warcraft. I know they are, right? So, but the thing is, you're not meant to be able to do an absolute insane amount of damage, right? This is being able to use it in a setting for plot contrivance. Oh my god, are those the twins?
Yes, those are twins.
Right. Okay. But like, if to me, like, if the twins, no, if they don't have red or white hair, Nasuth, I don't give a shit. Right. But if the twins were antagonists,
blue eyes.
I don't care. Right. But if the twins were antagonists, right, it would be great, because then you have the concept of the twins could appear anywhere, right, where you are, and attack you, right? That would be great. But like, oh no, they're just used to cheese that. Fuck. Oh god, no.
It gets worse, because the actual antagonists are demon kings.
Plural.
Yes, there's one for every single dungeon. And to defeat a dungeon, you have to defeat the demon king that's controlling it.
Otherwise,
the demon king kills you.
Well, what happens if you just, like, I don't know, put a lot of stones in front of the dungeon?
That doesn't work. They start overflowing monsters from the dungeon and start attacking you like Dungeon Keeper.
Okay.
So they're playing Dungeon Keeper. They are spawning monsters, and by defeating the one inside his village, he actually gains the former demon king as an ally, and gains control of the dungeon. And starts generating his own monsters.
Please tell me. We have the level 100 boss versus the level 1 ally. No, so the boss when you're fighting them, the boss when you're when they're in your party. Please tell me they get nerfed horribly.
They do get nerfed horribly. In the dungeon fights, they can turn into, like, the one they fight first place turns into a giant skeleton monster. Right, that's incredibly powerful. The second one they fight turns into like a Fenrir kind of wolf that controls wind magic. The thing is, if they do that while they're friends with them, they'll just attack everyone. They don't control who they attack when they're in those forms.
The berserker,
right?
Yes. Okay. So if they use them outside of their dungeons, then everybody around them will die, and they're useless.
So it's less that they can't use it, and more that they shouldn't use it.
Yes, they don't in any way.
I'm not going to lie, this animation is questionable at best.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The animation is dog shit at half the time.
Oh my god, hearing Thaylien curse. Jeez. Right.
Also, one other thing about solo leveling that this reminded me of. You say he's doing it to help his sick sister. In solo leveling, he's supposed to be doing it to help his sick mother, and yet that plotline never really seems to go anywhere. No. Every now and then we see the sister kind of stop in, but that's it. You know,
because
he doesn't really
she's
making any moves towards helping her. You know,
Nasuth, restrain yourself.
One last thing. The sister, when we meet her and when she has a little quirk of hair.
Of course, the antenna.
And as she talks, it moves.
Of course.
Okay.
And when he says, "What? Have you seen someone with a visual quirk like this before?" As if it's perfectly normal.
Yeah, that's what airheads do.
She just has this thing, and it's not like an airhead animation thing. It's literally her hair quirking about, and it's apparently normal.
Do. That's what airheads in anime do.
Yeah, but she's not. It reacts to her emotions.
Oh, okay.
Anywho.
Like this.
Right, just like Shy Lady. Right.
Except she has an auto blast out her head.
Go on, let's. I'm going to start working my way up from here. So let's do the wrong way to use healing magic, which I was really excited about when the season started because it seemed kind of fun. Mm-hmm. And then it went down to an acquired taste 1, and now it's a nothing special 4.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
I found a lot of promise in this show, and holy crap, an isekai I might be able to enjoy, and now I'm just kind of I mean, it's not terrible. I almost
I'm a whole level above you with this. It's a
different strokes for different folks. Like that said, I might check out a season 2 if one happens, because it's not terrible. Again, I don't know why I do that on the I do that with bad as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would your score change if you could binge it? If you weren't watching it week to week?
I did binge several episodes actually.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think that helped. I would call it the wrong way. The wrong way to use healing magic. Subtitle: why are you wasting my time arc?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of moments where it's just like, oh, let's go to town and do basically nothing. Okay, that's great. Let's go do some more training. Okay, it's a lot of that. But there are good points too. Isato is dense, sure, which we're used to with MCs, but generally good-natured and not too stupid, and he even gets kind of an arc over the course of the show where he starts out very,
I would argue he gets a very good arc over the series.
He starts out doing just kind of whatever other people want, and by the end he kind of has his own, he can actually stand up for himself, He finds a place in this world and kind of breaks out of his shell. Yeah.
He can be all of his personality. He could be angry with the people that make him angry, and he can be friendly with the people that he wants to be friendly with, and he can actually get praised for doing well, which is something he desperately wanted in his old life.
Most of the characters honestly have pretty strong personalities, which is nice. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
I'm just going to point out, I genuinely gave up on this show. I got so bored.
Yes, exactly my point. These characters are really well defined, but there's a lot of nothing that goes on between those moments of defining them.
Is this just a pacing issue?
Almost certainly.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not entirely what's wrong. I'll get into that, but I think I've nailed down the main problem, and it's trying to do too much and set up too many things while also doing nothing at the same time.
Yeah, it's setting them up from the perspective of somebody who isn't the hero, just one of the cast.
Yeah.
So he doesn't see the other things that they're setting up. So if we had more time with the other characters that are the heroes, saw their training, probably get a lot more of the story.
But even when he does see them, it's like they just kind of talk for a little while and then it's over.
Mm-hmm. Because that's his perspective of it, and I think that could be the issue. We only see it from Usato's perspective, and not from the perspective of the other two. That is potentially part of the problem. I don't know, but I got spoilers now. If we really want to get into some of the other problems that I had,
if you want to.
Okay, so here's some of what I'm talking about with the pacing and the weird. I don't want to call it time wasting exactly, but it is kind of. We eventually get to see a flashback to Rose and her original team that she lost, right? And it's good, but it's so functionally the same as the present in my eyes. That
you mean her team?
That what would have been better is more subtle weaving it in. She sees here's my the lieutenant that she liked so much, she occasionally sees her she does at the end of that arc where she sees her and she's like, oh yeah, you should go do what you want. More of that would have been better and weaved into the story more.
I think I'm gonna disagree with you on this one, because I liked seeing this thing because it actually showed how Rose got broken down.
But wouldn't it have been more interesting to see that as it was happening? Because her current team is so similar. Wouldn't it have been interesting to see her watching the original team and then from
her
this
point.
But from her, like, she could have those flashbacks as she's looking at her team now, and we, the audience, would get the same experience out of it, but even more so because it would be linked to that moment.
I don't think so, because they also set up a little bit more in that with the people she fights, the person she fights, and the demon that comes to save.
Oh, you mean the demon
her
that they
opponent.
completely forget about for most of the show? Yeah.
It kind of gives you a little bit.
Completely forget about them for most of the show.
You do forget about them for most of the show, but the things that they have are kind of like you do need a bit of explanation of, and so having
which
the
you could have gotten. Oh my god!
I don't think that you could have gotten
the pacing of going into a 2-episode flashback is just bad.
Agreed. It could have been a 1-episode flashback, but a flashback I think was needed.
You could have had those moments.
I don't disagree with you.
You could have had those moments woven in.
The pacing does.
Let's move on, please. Let's move on. We're gonna stick on this point forever, and I don't want to. The first Battlefield episode, pretty good. I liked it, but it's only because of how slow everything else was, and took forever for us to get there. It was like episode 10 or 11 or something. Yeah.
Could I just point out I never got there?
Yeah, that's fine. Again, episode 10 or 11. Yeah, of course you didn't.
Yeah, I never got there.
Was that that's not Kazuki, the other girl. The hero girl makes it out like Usato's some kind of genius, but really all he's done is kind of go along with what other people have told him to do.
That's why we could have done with more of her perspective to see how she reacts to him more.
Yeah, I would have liked. I think we're going to get more of that in season 2. By the way, this has been renewed, so you know.
Oh, good.
I think it has anyway.
I really liked the final battle with that. You know, it does come too late.
But it wasn't the final battle. Then we immediately start moving into harem territory, where they capture the Black Knight. She turns out to be a cute girl who is now in love with Usato. And it's like, oh great, so now he's got the girl hero and this.
But I did like the slight inventiveness of this. How do you defeat magic that reflects magic? Well, in this case, you use physical attacks imbued with healing magic, because what's reflected onto you is the healing magic, and then you just punch him in the face, basically.
Yeah, but you want to know what's wrong with that now?
What? Well, no, because if the healing magic's being reflected onto him, so he keeps healing himself, then of course when he hits her, she can't be healed because the magic's been reflected.
But they specifically try to explain that as not happening. Explicitly.
Yes, and so that's why when he discovered that it wasn't
No. Even
he was
worse
actually
than
punching
that.
her.
Even worse than that, when Rose is talking to him about doing this to other people, not the person that can reflect the magic, which she can't. That's the whole point, is she can't reflect the healing magic. She says specifically, this will hurt them, even though we have seen that healing magic removes the pain too. So,
Yeah, it's weird that. But yeah, I did like it as a thing where she told him that
it's just a waste
if you
of time.
heal them as you punch them, it'll hurt. But then it turns out to be the solution against a type of magic that genuinely.
Sorry, there is no second season. I'll say that afterwards, but there is no second season. It ends on a cliffhanger. No second season. Also, they do a title drop. They specifically say, that's the wrong way to use healing magic, or something like that. I'm like, oh no.
Oh my god, that's definitely the wrong way to use healing magic. Yeah, I know. Yes.
So, yeah, unless you have any other spoilery things to say, Thaylien.
No, I'm done.
Question, why do you hate it? Why do you hate it when they title drop?
It's just cheap. It just feels cheap to me.
Fair.
Yeah, but I do think that this is a phrase that came about. I think it was named because of the phrase, not the other way around. Not the phrase was used because of the name. You know, I think that when the person was writing this originally, I have a genuine thought
is this a localization issue, right? Was the name of them, like the original Japanese name, title dropped? Or was this done as an opportunity because, like, you know, some translator went, hardy, hard.
Oh, I would have to go back and listen to the actual line to see if it matches.
Yeah.
Matches that.
Anyway. Sorry.
But yeah, it's... I mean, again, I would probably watch season 2 if it comes out. Because I'm kind of...
low expectations.
I kind of hope that now that they're past this initial hurdle of introducing the characters and everything, and there's going to be more of a journey aspect to it rather than sitting around training for for all the goddamn time. Maybe it'll be better, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with Rose's best wife of the season, though.
I do like Rose.
Right.
I do really like Rose.
Okay, right. Moving on. Yeah.
What you got for us, Zeno?
I'm gonna do Chained Soldier. Right.
Slavery the anime.
This is a 3-star nothing special.
But is it a hentai?
Right. It is also. I can't believe this is not a hentai. Where is it?
Right on
list? Oh my god. There it is. Right. So I'm
or underneath as
filling
it
this in. Nothing special, 3-star. A lot of the show's problems stem from pacing and the supporting cast. Right. So, in the early episodes, the pacing is quite solid and decent, but then we spurn off into a tournament arc. Which is just
everyone's
like,
favorite.
whoopee. Everyone fucking loves the tournament arc. Now, granted, the tournament arc does not last long, right? Not like in shows like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, My Hero Academia, Naruto. You know, you can fucking take your pick on most Shonen Jump shows. They got a tournament arc that lasts longer than the sun. Except for Jujutsu Kaisen, I really like that one because it lasted like all of 2 episodes because it got interrupted. But... Chain Soldier, it starts to deviate quite heavily in terms of pacing. Specific characters, mostly the female protagonists, they don't really get much in terms of development. What could be one episode is often split over 2 episodes, and it is often frustrating. This is getting a second season. I am gonna watch the second season. Not just because I'm a degenerate, but because sunk cost fallacy. I do like the design of our main protagonist. The pair of them, right? You know, Yuki
when he has clothes on.
Oh no, I was thinking more like in his demon form, but
okay.
No, his master, right, which is this girl on screen right now. And someone else that's going to remain nameless because spoilers, right? I do like their development, but too much of the supporting female cast just feels like you're a sexy lamp, right? And, you know, and I dislike that quite heavily. I hope that more can be explored. I'm not necessarily saying I'm even the target audience, but I mean, I do feel that, in part I am because of the mature nature of the show. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say. It does go places, but it just takes its fucking time getting there.
All flash, no bang.
Quite literally. So, you know.
Okay, you go there then.
Well, I mean, he said it, not me. But I mean,
yeah.
That's
didn't intentionally have a double entendre, but I'm glad I did.
But yeah, it's you know, I can't really think of much else to say. It's if you have alternatives, watch that. Don't watch this. Maybe the second season will. Instead. You're not wrong. Yeah. So I don't really have anything else to add to this. If you have any questions, I wouldn't waste my time. Right. Thaylien, do you know what you're going to want to...
Yes, because I'm going to do Gushing of Magical Girls, because we mentioned it.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so Gushing over Magical Girls. I am not going to give this the I can't believe it's not hentai rating, because I can believe it's hentai.
Oh my god. I was about to say, what version of the show did you watch?
The 4Kids version.
Okay, but it is an acquired taste 4-star.
Everywhere I've seen online has been saying this show is actually really good and has a really good message.
Yes.
So
yes. So
I'm gonna hit the button.
This show, I'm telling you, it is actually straight up hentai in some cases, because it takes this magical girl genre and throws it on its ear.
Hit the button.
What button? This button?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine. It just is.
It just is.
But he can believe it. Maybe we should have another one that's I can believe it's hentai.
No, but it's not classified as
fair.
You know, that's the reason why it exists.
So this one kind of impressed me because it takes the tropes of the magical girl thing and turns them on their ear by having our main protagonist accidentally join the bad guys. And then bring in more characters to the point where it's an actual like evil roster versus the good roster kind of thing. It explores genuine fetishes to the point where they introduced a couple of characters and I went, oh, this is one. This is going to be one. Quite thoroughly. Like a woman that can literally change size. You know, literally change size.
Why did I know it was going to be that one with you?
Yeah, and I'm looking at that going, oh, that's... I didn't say I'm particularly into that fetish, but it's the... oh, you can see why she exists. You know?
We've all seen your fairy. We
very large and literally in fights, like, tries to flying body press onto her enemies to the point of crushing them with her gigantic bosom that's the size of a skyscraper. Yeah, that's one.
What's the other one? There was another one that you guys were talking about earlier that I need to add to my... Oh, it's Mashle, I think. Anyway, continue.
Mashle,
sorry.
Yeah. So the thing that impressed me is that when they have the established 3 girls that we're following as as our perceived antagonists, they immediately flip this and have 4 new girls from the bad guys' side show up that are more powerful than them, ostensibly. They were out. Do we want
to put on the spoiler tag, maybe?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go actually into the spoilers version of this. Let's put this on. So,
Xeno's like, that wasn't a spoiler version?
No, that wasn't. So the spoiler version is that Enormita is the group they're part of, the bad guys side, and there are other anti-magical girls that are in control, 4 of them, and that surprisingly they have a power rating that manifests in stars on their body somewhere. So our protagonist, Magia Beza, has 2, one on each cheek, and the Nero Alice, the little girl that can trap people in dolls' houses, actually has 3 rather large ones, and that's unusual. Whereas the girl with all the guns doesn't appear to have any. The 4 that show up, 3 of them are 3 stars, and one of them is a 4-star. So there's a clear power imbalance here. But they actually go to this thing of, hang on, no, if you actually think about this is magic. So all you have to do is imagine how it's going to be different, and you can raise that power with your love of certain things. And because what Beza loves is making cute girls submit to her, all she has to do is make the most powerful of them imagine her
being
as
stronger
a
than them.
as a. Well, no. So all the things that the antagonist says are like things that, if you imagine a child saying them, they become hilarious. And so she imagines the antagonist, the 4-star woman, as a younger girl than she actually is, like stomping her foot, saying, "I am supposed to be in charge of this. I am the darkness. I am the night. You will fear me," kind of thing. And so she immediately like converts herself mentally into the I am going to spank you, little girl, kind of mode, and kicks her ass. Well, spanks her ass. But they actually go through a little bit of story where the magical girl on the right there, the blue one, actually nearly breaks from all the torment that Beza's putting her through. And Beza actually goes, "What the fuck are you doing? You're supposed to be a magical girl. You can't submit to me. You can't come turn to the evil side. What the hell is this?" And just walks off, leaving her to go through a mental collapse on her own. Then there's a little side story of her getting better and actually attaining a new transformation that puts her on an equal level to Beza at the end of the show.
Can I just ask?
The plot then...
Isn't it supposed to be Brazier?
Beza.
I thought it was Brazier.
Baiser.
No, it's not
Beza.
S, it's a Z.
Yeah, okay.
It was Brazier, okay.
So, it's not Brazier. Beza. And the thing is that Beza's goal is that to make the best out of magical girls, there has to be a villain. And so they're going to be villains, the best villains they can be, who laugh and threaten and make all these things, but then the magical girls beat them and they fly off to be, to come back next time stronger. And so they actually set this thing up to be proper, almost cartoon villains. And it really does play out that way. It's all the internal strife, all the fights between the actually evil girls and Beza's people play out really well to kind of hammer home this thing of no. Yeah. We're going to be evil villains.
It's really interesting because to realistically analyze this, it feels very much that the show is talking about fanaticism. When you actually have a group of fanatics that are passionate about the various different cardinal sins, I suppose. Though I cannot pin who some of them are, but very much Brazers the element of lust, and her fanaticism about
other girls, all
magical
the other girls,
shit. What are they called? Tres Magica. Yeah. She cares for them more than anything else, and she is infatuated with them, and it's really interesting seeing this, where she does not care for world domination. She does not care for anything else. She cares only for them and them alone. It's imagining like if Rita Repulsa got giddy whenever the Power Rangers turn up. So she would go along destroying shit just so the Power Rangers would turn up.
Exactly.
It's, I actually genuinely really like the series. Not just because...
Spoilers?
Yeah, no, I think
one last spoiler. Okay, because we've got to hammer home just how much this show does go into. She beats 2 of the actually evil magical girls until they submit to her. And then, as their punishment, she basically puts them in a room and says, "Now kiss."
Oh my god!
There's a whole
it's worse. It's so much worse.
Yes, it gets so much worse. So this is the mild version of it. The YouTube version of it is that she forces them to explore their love for each other. Okay, in front of her, while trapped in a room that
she
they
has to
can't
watch.
get out of until and she watches. She
I'm not sure I can
definitely
watch
watches.
this after all.
This
And,
honestly,
yeah.
it isn't. I love this show because it pushes the envelope in so many directions that no other show has dared to try, and it is happy about doing it. No,
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
not.
said.
No, it's not though. It's not. This is.
No, I said
this is the wi-
outside of straight hentai. This
Oh,
show has
outside
pushed
of-
the envelope
No, because
more
again, it is all about like exploration and fanaticism, right? Like, typically when we're talking about adult stuff, it's not about any of those things. It's just about rocking one's socks off, right? It's just about indulging in pleasure. Like, seriously, this is about fanaticism, right? Pure and simple. And that's the strangest part of this, is because there are very few shows that fanaticize about anything, right? That explore that.
Truly
Oh,
show
actually,
that
no.
passion for things.
Magical Girls Destroyer is one of them, and what was that
Randolph?
mecha one? Yes, that's another one, right? They really do explore the fanaticism, but this
You can drop the
explores the
spoilers, I
fanaticism.
think.
No, please don't. This explores the fanaticism about magical girls in a really unhealthy way, and that is so keen and interesting to me, right? I'm done talking.
Then again, what's also interesting to me is a fight where they turn one of the magical girls giant and end up fighting over her underwear. In her underwear.
God! Oh dear! See, that's yeah. Okay, I think we're done with this one.
They are. In fact, that's enough of that, because this show genuinely, if you are not a person that has watched hentai before, you will believe this is hentai.
I kind of feel like we need to get like some kind of AI to prune out every single time you guys have said, Anyway, right.
Well, said rooster cravat.
Anyway, so let's move on.
Let's do the other 11 episode review, The Witch and the Beast.
Yeah. That
one. So I have Acquired Taste 2-star in here. I don't think it's actually that. I would say Acquired Taste 1-star, actually. Still Acquired Taste, because there's still some quality here, and there are still things that actually kind of interest me about it, but the problem is that they don't explore those things
ever.
Ever. Yeah, that's a good point.
I guessed. I haven't watched this, so
Too many of the fundamentals are just unexplained or explicitly broken, which I hate. That's the thing that I hate. Like we've talked about this in the other reviews. The first one they break is like, I say break. First one they don't really tell you about until it becomes relevant is the there are 2 ways to break a curse, except for this third one. And then they do that again with the Necromancer story. They do it again during the Demon Sword arc. And it really bothers me that they keep doing that. Oh, they even do it. I think they even do it in the very end. Well, the current very end, before the flashback started. I also have no real scale for how magic works, or what makes it powerful or not powerful. I mean, things just kind of happen. They do look really cool, though. Gotta say, it all looks really beautiful. What was it? Oh yeah, that one. That one's spoilers. We don't need to worry about that. I do like the different organizations. I like there's the we see the Order, which is the one that our group is with. They're kind of like semi-shadowy. They sort of work in the gray areas, and they have an uneasy truce with the Paladins, who are the actual police, essentially the magic police, because both of them have a hold of so many powerful items that if they ever went into open war, they could literally destroy the world. And it's essentially like mutually assured destruction with nuclear weapons, right? You know, it's that level of they have a Cold War. There's also another one that I don't want to talk about. It's a surprise. And I really like the setting because it's got really cool things in it, like elementals and demon swords and a thing called the corridors, which is kind of like an alternate space that links different areas together. But they just don't explore any of it beyond saying, here's a thing.
This is a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Even when so we see Godot break his curse twice, once in the beginning and once during the Demon Sword arc. I won't tell you how or why or what really goes on with it, but they just throw out more things. They're like, oh, Godot is this powerful, and better only use one hand to punch him, but none of that's explained. It's just said in passing, and then they move on. And it's so weird, and I really want to like it. And I think some people probably could, which is why it's acquired taste. Because, yeah, again, it's really beautiful. If you're just looking for a spectacle and you don't care if the magic's explained, go for it. I can't do it, though. If there's a season 2, I don't think there is, but if there is a season 2, I don't want to see it. Unless episode 12 really gets me, but given that it's probably going to be a continuation of the flashback that started in episode 11, I doubt it.
I mean, it's kind of interesting that they've put a flashback so late in the series. It kind of feels like this is set up that should have happened much earlier on. And
I kind of get why they did it, and in fact, the episode episode 12 will probably end in the present. But I'm almost positive it's going to be sequel bait.
But, I mean, my question to you is you've not really given this any positive light. Are you sure that you're okay with an acquired taste 1 star? You know? Yeah,
because again, I like the characters. I like what bits of the magic they did explain. I like I said, a lot of the what faint world building there is, like the cool things that you see do seem to maybe have an internal consistency, but they haven't really bothered to expand enough for me to say that for sure.
But you're saying things like there's all these cool things that they're not expanding upon. Character motivation is pretty fundamentally basic. The world setting, and like the pacing and storytelling is just wacky.
That's why it gets a 1 star.
Just you know, I mean, I can only assume that the animation and
it's nothing special because it is at least trying something different. It's not the same as everything else, so it can't be nothing special to me. But it's not high enough that I want to continue watching it. It's a 1 star.
Okay.
Probably won't like it, but if you do like it, you would have to be into this kind of magical, unexplained mystery stuff.
So the novelty of it is also helping push its mark up.
Yes, I would say that. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Right. Moving on! Right, okay then, I'm going to move on to... You know what, I'm going to do 2 good ones in a row. So, Villainess level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the Demon Lord. I hate to do this. This is a 5-star, nothing special. It suffers very similarly a lot in the same way that 7th Time Loop does. The great thing about our Villainess in this series is that she's not boring as all hell, but the show constantly hangs up on the same message of you know, she's super powerful. Yes, we get that. We have stupid bureaucracy behind it, which again is fundamentally kicked it swiftly in the nuts very quickly. But it kind of feels that the character development is really underwhelming. Like, she doesn't really grow that much as a character. She's still a fairly solid, stiff board, a stiff plank of wood, and it's kind of frustrating in a lot of ways. Where, yes, she will do some hilarious, stupid things like, oh, you don't agree with me? Well, I'm just going to open a black hole, right? Until you do agree with me. Oh, what's that? You want to level up? Well, I'll go get my monster flute, and I'll summon more monsters. It's, you know, it does have interesting elements to it, but again, if I had to choose any of the other shows, or this, I would choose any of the other shows. That
there were a lot of them I think we all should have dropped before getting 12 episodes this season, but we didn't for some reason.
Well, I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be watching anything, would we? Right? Like, if genuinely I dropped Chain Soldier, The Undead Unwanted Adventurer, Seventh Time Loop, and Villainess, right? I've only had fucking 4 shows to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and I think... Sorry, I would only have 4 shows to review, right? But, you know, I think a lot of what, you know, I praise was actually carried on from last season, you know? So, you know, it's not the worst, it's not the best, but having other stuff to watch, I would choose that over anything else. I don't really have... The animation's okay. Plot's predictable. I've not really got anything else to say, really. So if you just want to...
Alright. Thaylien, which you want? Which of your last 2 do you want?
I'm going to go with a fun one. It was Undead Unluck.
Oh, yeah. I loved Undead Unluck.
Yep, I'm going to pop this into the must-watch range at 2-star.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
For me. Okay, because this show just kept getting better and better. Okay, the premise of of a world where God rules over everything, makes rules for the world, and the organization Union is out to stop God by not only fulfilling all of the challenges to get all the advantages they can, but also working against the active destruction of the world by this god for failing these tasks. The negator powers are really done quite well, and the characters we're introduced to all seem to have a solid background to them and a weight to them, which really seems to work quite well. And I love the underlying plot that comes out when you have references and conversations with, like, Victor, who's the undead's alternate persona. And I feel it really hit a accelerating stride in the last arc.
Oh God, yes, 100% yes.
I really want to put the spoilers on and talk about for a bit.
In a minute. Or do you want to do it now?
No.
Or do you want to do it in a bit?
Yeah. So just in a bit, the feel of the show really has this excited but desperate kind of thing to it, where you know that the people around the main characters are powerful, but they're not ever. You constantly wonder if they're powerful enough, whether they're actually going to be enough to deal with what's going on. And the fights they get into just seem to get bigger and bigger, and that makes it really fun. So fighting on a ship,
but not in the same way that, like, it does in Dragon Ball Z or something, where they're just
No.
shooting around more laser beams or punching each other in the air.
Exactly.
It's not like that.
So how do you overcome somebody that can basically, whatever they're looking at, can make them avoid them? So you try to shoot something at them, and it will just literally curve around them as long as they know it's there. As long as they can anticipate it, it's just, a true shot becomes untrue, and so on. what do you do against somebody that can, if they cut you, they can force you to never ever be able to heal it,
even if they're not there anymore. Even if you leave
even if they're not
range.
there anymore, and even if you are hurting yourself with the intention to heal in some way, it doesn't work, and that's impressive. It's all of these ones between negators are battles of actually planning out and trying to think, which is really portrayed well. And the stories around some of them are downright tragic.
Even when there is a power boost, it's not just like, oh, we gotta go train. I don't want to. It's spoilers, so I don't want to say what it is. But it's not just, oh, we gotta go train. It's actually like meaningful and deep.
Yes. So now I'd like to pop on the spoilers so we can actually talk about one of the more tragic ones. We could talk about one of the more tragic stories. Stop that.
I want to say something.
I don't want Dino to say something.
Oh, fuck you.
Go on then. Go on.
So I'm going to be flat out honest. I can't rate the show. I gave up on it because the pacing for me was just like, oh, I think this show is seriously one you need to binge. Because the week-to-week stuff just... I'm not saying that... It feels like a lot of nothing happens in each episode. They spend a lot of time contemplating the meaning of a lot of events. Like there was one episode where they're in a schoolroom, or they're in a school classroom, and I'm not going to tell you anything beyond that.
I know what you mean.
But the whole episode is in that classroom. And I think it's so important to keep all the events of what happened and the pace of how it happened. It is so important to keep that. But at the same time, it also cuts deep. This is a problem that JoJo has as well. It cuts deep that realistically, the best way to watch the series is multiple episodes ago, right? That's how ultimately I ended up having to watch the series. I was watching like 4 to 6 episodes ago, and there are absolutely fantastic parts of the series. Don't get me wrong, but the problem is because I'm not watching it for so long, I genuinely forgot about it. And I do feel though
that's fair enough.
That's your TikTok brain, but
what?
That's your
fuck you
TikTok
with
brain.
Fucking. Mr. doesn't like Shangri-La Frontier.
That's right.
So,
I get what you're saying.
Let's grab the spoilers just briefly for the thing.
Because
there is one really tragic story that a lot of people wouldn't think is tragic because it ends up being triumphant. And it's that one of the characters, one of the negators, gets the ability of unknown.
Yes.
And they literally they pick up a pen. That is an artifact that has been through the artifacts when you pick them up originally give you memories that they have experienced, and this person picks up an artifact that has got memories of the entirety of history, and so like understands it all, but their negator power kicks in and they can't be perceived at all.
And it's important to point out they're a kid. They're like, 6 or 7
5 years
or
old,
something.
6 years old.
5 years old, yeah.
Yeah. And so they have to go through this thing of watching their mother call the police because they think that their son is missing and can't be found, even though they're in the room with them, and crying and coming to terms with the fact their son is missing and won't be coming back.
Sorry, I don't understand. Are you saying that the pen gave them the unpower?
No.
Maybe.
The pen.
It's kind of like simultaneous.
They specifically say it's simultaneous. At the exact same time he picked up the pen, he just also happened to get his negator power.
Mm-hmm.
So he learned everything
and can't tell anyone,
unknown.
Right?
Because they can't know him. They knew him, but they can't know him now.
Yes, he's now unknown.
I don't feel like unperceivable would be a better word.
Effectively makes him invisible, yeah.
Sure.
Invisible, unperceivable in any way, and
even touching doesn't.
What he ends up doing is, if he found out that using this pen, which is an artifact, anything he writes with it, as long as he's not writing
using his
anything
name
to do with himself, so if he puts a pen name on there, it becomes perceivable to other people because they don't believe it's him. So it's not him, they're not perceiving him. So
and because he knows all of history, including what's happening, he realizes he can use this power to warn people about apocalypse.
Right.
Yes. And so he writes a manga that weaves the entire plot line of the show into it in another format. And guess which manga that is? The one that our main character was reading at the start of the show.
Oh shit, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Oh wow.
And that becomes this becomes a subplot where they have to make a manga to try and meet this author. And it's I love that the show has heated up at that point. It is very deep, and yet they take a moment to just kind of have this cute little session bit where they're making a manga. It's adorable and hilarious.
Yes.
Okay.
So it really switches the mood and meeting. So this is the thing. They try to meet the manga author. Okay. So what they've done, this person has done, is they have literally used the pen to manifest, to draw into being a fake person that is the pen name that they can speak through.
Right.
So because they like Anno Un is the name of it, which is known which when you flip around unknown, it's them. Yeah. But as a pen name. So they manifest a person that is the pen name and can communicate through them. And they are desperately trying to change what they've seen in the future. So they do everything they can. They actually take Undead and Unluck.
Except they make sure that only Undead and Unluck can figure out where they are.
Yes, they take all the signs that give them that information, then meet up with them in an attempt to make sure that the bad things they can see don't happen, and so they can write a new story that Unknown has not seen yet. And the way they do this into this thing of
is by showing them that they have imposed rules on themselves. It's not just the rules of the universe. They've imposed rules on themselves. They need to redefine the way they think about their negator powers. And that's the power-up. And the way they do it is so... I'll let you, if you want to go into that bit. I don't know if Zeno wants to hear
really clever.
Or if he wants to...
I kind of want to, okay, so this is actually inspiring me to watch the show again.
Yeah, okay. Right. So picture this. Unluck affects the soul of the person, right?
Sure.
So because the negator powers are counter-logical, Undead realizes that, hang on, well, who says my soul has to be in my body all the time? Why can't I put it into my fingers and fire those fingers at somebody else? And so
why do I always have to regenerate from my head? Why can't I regenerate from any part of my body?
Exactly. And he's there mentally,
which is what Victor does. You see Victor doing that in other points.
Victor's like, of course that's how it works. Why do you not think that? And so
oh god, the things we learn about Victor.
Mental journey goes
my god.
Yes.
Okay.
And even the whole overall plot suddenly makes more sense when you find out what the final penalty of the world is if they don't complete these tasks.
Okay.
It brings it up to a whole new level of of ante.
Right.
So it's well worth the time.
So my question to you is the show done, or is there going to be another season? Right.
We don't know if there's another season, but it is David Productions, and we know David Productions generally doesn't stop at one season.
Yes, that is true. And I assume we don't know if it's actually been greenlit for another season.
Not that I know. Not last time I looked.
We can add that to next week's rumors.
Okay.
Because immediately once I finished episode 12, or episode 24, I was like, "Oh God, please tell me they've already announced a season 2, please."
So
yes.
So is this very much a case of you are baited into dear God? No, is it like dangerous cliffhanger territory where
Yes.
I think this season is done, but it's in a state where you absolutely want to know where it goes next.
There is a definite through arc that ends. This arc ends, but it's in such a way that there is obviously more.
Right. Okay. Then. I think what we should do now is repeat briefly that the show has a bit of a cliffhanger ending and a total lineup for a season 2 with yet no confirmation of an actual season 2 as of yet. Right, so this is outside of the spoiler territory.
It's David Productions.
Yeah. I mean, how they're doing a second season of Urusei Yatsura, and I was not expecting that in the slightest.
Right. Well, since Thaylien got Undead Unluck, which is my favorite serious one of the season, I'm going to save my other favorite one for the very last. I'm going to do Ragna Crimson instead.
Ragna Crimson,
which I enjoyed, but is not my favorite of the season. So I don't remember where we stopped at the 12 episode point, but I did give it an acquired taste 4. It has fallen a little bit to an acquired taste 3. There are some bad things, especially some pacing issues in the middle, but there's also a lot of good things, and there's a dub coming soon, as we discussed in the news. So if you want to watch it all at once and not have to actually watch it, good way to do it. The highest tier dragons that we see honestly have some neat designs. Not at first, but later on they do. Like the wind one, whatever. But some of the later ones look really cool. There are also some neat things about the next level down, like they can sort of use similar powers as their monarch. So like subordinates to the wind dragon, the next level down at least, can use some of his wind powers, which plays into the long drawn out section that I don't like as much. Some of the fights are really cool, some of them are a little bit ridiculous. The entire section after shortly teleporting out of the capital, which is I'm pretty sure where season 1 ended, to the appearance of the lightning dragon really drags out. It is a long...
Wait. Where season 1 ended? Do you mean Core 1 ended?
Sorry, Core 1, where the 12 episode ended.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Drags out quite a bit. There is some important character development there as well, but I feel like it could have sliced out a couple of episodes along the way. There's also a few bad... This is also where the worst parts of the series come to me. Come into me, aside from the very, very beginning where... yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Where I get where the wolves live, yeah.
The bad stuff is there's the typical Shonen tropes of the soldiers that he's fighting with just pushing through on sheer willpower. Oh man, we're exhausted, we're on our last legs, but every dragon I kill just makes me stronger and go even further. And it's okay, sure. That works for Ragna because it's less him pushing beyond his limits and more becoming more like his future self. So he already has that power, he just needs to be accustomed to it. There's also some things... There's also a little bit of a Death Note vibe in this section where there's the princess that's guiding, leading all these soldiers, and the mastermind strategist dragon, and they just keep having all these plans and counter plans and counter plans, but it's only ever presented as if this is the only way it could go. There's not wait.
Are you saying, is this a tennis match? Is this what you're telling me? Is this a fucking...
Yes.
Oh, nope.
Yes.
Nope.
That is the best. There are good things that are happening during this, but there is also this overarching problem of and it's only plays out it's only looks like it's supposed to play out one way, right?
Don't care.
She's they'll make this move. Oh, you only see it after the fact. So, one side makes a move, and then the other side is yes, but I knew they would make that move, and so I did this instead. And then the other side, says, yes, but I knew they would make that move to my move, so I did this instead. And it's never presented as, but I expected they might have done it this other way instead, so I made this other plan. No, none of that is ever shown. And I hate the way they keep trying to humanize the dragons. Really hate the way they keep trying to humanize the dragons.
I'm sorry. To me,
I get it. That's.
It's such a deterrent to me. Like watching,
that.
but I knew that you would do this. I'm like, did you? Did you really? Like, hold on. If you knew that my best move was this, right?
At the very end.
And you put at the very end, then why didn't you just do a completely different strategy? Why are we 18 moves ahead here?
Yeah.
Like, I hate that shit so much. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. They kind of retroactively try to make it make sense. Because, like, the princess resembles somebody that he liked in his human life, but that gets back to the humanizing the dragons thing, which I don't like. However, at the end of the arc, things start to really pick up, and it gets good again. And it's like, there's a moment that subverts the usual shonen expectations. I don't want to get into what it is because it's spoilers, but it's not the usual unreliable narrator stuff you see in some other things, or even, with this, where they were doing the whole, I'm planning against your plan, against my plan. No, it's actually something that's set up beforehand, which is surprising in a show like this.
I've gotta ask.
Yeah.
Has the show actually finished? Has the show actually finished?
Yes, I would say it does not need it's one of those where it could have a season 2. There's more in this world that they could do, but it doesn't need it. This story is done. Okay. It's just a case of like Ragna's like, well, we've done this thing, but there are still other things out there for me to do. I will go now. My people need me. Right. It's just kind of like, okay,
so
cool.
It's the Lone Ranger riding off into the sunset. Okay, fine.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I mean, that's not the end of the world. But like, if you were to tell me that, I would have to suffer through this whole, but I knew you would eat that bag of Doritos.
No, God, no. Then... No, if it ended badly, it would have that would have really turned me off. But I liked the ending. Okay. The true natures of the dragons and the past world and all of that stuff is explored. Crimson actually gets shown up a couple of times, which is really nice because they tries to present himself as the master manipulator. I think that's really it. Oh, Ragna does actually have an arc. Unfortunately, it is related to how it started, but the payoff is actually pretty good, I suppose. And
Leon comes back?
No, Leon does not come back. It's Ragna's arc, not Leon's arc. And nobody understands.
Okay.
No, and nobody understands how percentages work, of course, but that's typical. That's a spoiler, but it is fun.
Oh, fuck off! Right. Okay. Should we?
Be nice.
Should we move on?
Be nice to Xeno.
Move on. Let's move on. Right. Okay. Oh, my brain. Right. We're getting there. Right.
We're getting there.
I am doing The Dangers in My Heart Season 2. Alright. This, to me, is a 4-star acquired taste. Alright. Now, I'm quite particular when it comes to rom-coms. This is a rom-com. It is... You have to watch the first season, but it is very much a case of boy meets girl, and the character development is really solid across this series. We have the Comey, if you will, of the year, which is Yamada. And we have a very shut-in, neat character who is our main male protagonist. Unfortunately, and this kind of speaks to his failing, I can't actually remember his name. Main male protagonist. Yeah, protagonist. But the thing is, so this is the thing though, he's not self-insert, right? he is really well developed. You know, he is this sort of like Chinibyo, you know, oh, I'm too wild for you, I'm untamable sort of thing. And he very much grows out of that. And he, you know, he does have like, you know, the emo haircut where one of his eyes is covered up and things. But she doesn't see him for that. She sees him for, you know, this nice guy that's trying to do nice things for her and things. And again, like, when these things sort of backfire, you know, he does feel bad. And again, it's an emotional roller coaster. It's these two teenagers, like, you know, learning about it. And I do really enjoy that when it is done well. If I had a choice between watching Comey or this, it would be Comey, because I prefer the comedy side of things. But, you know, this is still a really good show, and if you are into rom-coms, right, which I am not particularly, I'm into good, well-structured shows, and this is certainly one of them. It continues on from the season.
Do you feel like there's actual progression in their relationship?
Yes.
Is that what you're about to get into?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not necessarily. Like there is the requirement of watching the first season, and there are many instances where you would actually assume, hey, you know, the kids wouldn't necessarily do this. But one of my favorite things about the series is that the guy actually becomes friends with the dad, right? Her dad, and he's like this like, you know, high class chef, right? The guy is built like a fucking brick shithouse. He's massive. He's so fucking intimidating. And at one point in time, they go over to her place to make chocolates for Valentine's Day. He doesn't know why the fuck he's there. He's just dragged along, sort of thing. And at one point in time, he ends up getting dragged to playing Mario Kart on the Switch with his dad, and his dad's like really wholesome, he's really nice, he's really friendly, he's just really fucking intimidating, but they end up becoming friends and actually friend each other on the Switch. And it's just like that level of innocence and charisma across the board that is really appealing in a show like this. I mean, like, come on, like if you're the parents and you see your daughter doing this, you'd be like, what are you doing? You know, but yeah, it's a dumb fun show, and I enjoy it, and it was one of the good things to watch this season.
Good.
Right. So unless you have any questions,
I want to waste some time again with my next one.
Okay. Right. Wait, isn't this your last one?
This is the last one.
Yes, it is my last one.
Okay.
Because you guys let me have Frieren.
Well,
I haven't
the system
finished it.
did.
I haven't finished it, so it's just you and Zeno.
The intern did. Yeah. And this has got to be my favourite show in a long time.
Okay.
Okay, I'm putting this one just... Where can I put Frieren that is actually going to do it really justice based on my own opinions? I'm going to put it as a must-watch 3-star.
Fuck off.
Tied with Undead Unluck.
That low?
Yes, because
I was
of something
expecting
that
4-star.
Other people have pointed out, and I felt while watching it, is that this is a show about making you feel what it's trying to talk about. And unfortunately, and in almost every case, it takes its time. It shows you how the show is taking its time and how the characters take time. They spend 6 months here, they spend 2 months there, a couple of weeks doing something specific, right? And that all works absolutely fine, right up until they hit the final arc of it, where all of the things are supposed to be done within 16 hours or a day. No.
There's right. One of the parts of it is over 3 days, right? Which is 4 episodes long. right?
Yes. They spent
And
4
then-
episodes to do 3 days, whereas they did half an episode to do 6 months earlier on. So the shift in actual physical pace of the show
Okay,
Is
but
palatable.
does massively. I felt when I was going in there that yes, everything was important and was taking the time to show how important it was, but I just kind of wanted to get in there and push the characters a little further down the plot line to get to somewhere, because they didn't need to take as long as they did. So
I have a
that's
question.
where my frustration came in. Go ahead.
Isn't this sort of true to like how real life can feel sometimes? Like 6 months can, well, you know, when you're old especially, months can pass by in a blink, but then really important events stand out and feel like they take longer.
Yes, they can do that. Yeah.
I do agree with you, but I don't feel that those 4 episodes like warrant. So those 4 episodes were particularly bad, right? They're not at the very end.
All right.
They're not at the very end. They are particularly bad. But I feel that the subsequent second part of what Thaylien is talking about, again, we're trying to keep vague as hell. I don't think the pacing was particularly bad with that, right? Yes, those 4 episodes, not the rest of it though. And
yeah, it just kind of hit that weird contrast because we had 4 episodes to do the 3-day part of it where they really took their time to push home how much these characters are, you know, thinking about things and trying to be tactical, and then they spent 4 episodes on the entire rest of the arc. And even then, there's a few of these things. So, do you want to get into the spoiler things, you know, or
a large part of me kind of wants to avoid spoilers entirely.
So let's avoid spoilers. Let's cut this one, or let's not waste the time on this one, because this is one of the best shows of the last 5 years, I would say. Okay, I know of shows that have made me feel even more than this, but they were very old, and in my early and impressionable days of anime. This is hitting me on the multiple levels of I am a fully functioning adult. I'm not sure if I'm a mature adult, but I'm a fully functioning adult. And this is hitting me in the feels on multiple levels.
Like,
okay?
This is a show for adults and not for babies.
No, I think this can be enjoyed by quite a lot of people. You know, not babies, but you know, the lessons are there.
Oh, you mean like old shows used to be, where if you were an adult, you could get one thing out of it, and if you were a kid, you could get another thing out of it.
Another thing.
Very much so.
Oddly enough, I would actually argue Shrek is like that.
Yeah. 100%.
But so to me personally, right, I argue the toss that Frieren is a must-watch 5-star. Right, I think it is absolutely fantastic, and we are past the point of watching it on a weekly basis. If you were to watch it ad hoc as to whatever you, the viewer, decide, you will not have to wait a month for the conclusion of those 4 episodes. You could do it in 2 hours, right? And that to me is powerful knowledge in and of itself. Yes. I think that yes, those 4 episodes did drag, but if I could watch those in 2 hours, it's the pain isn't as palatable, so to speak.
Yeah, I would get that. So I'm going to put one minor spoiler, and it doesn't actually think. No, I mean, okay, we can hit the button. One minor spoiler for this. And that is the last line for the credits roll on the last episode. Yes, there are things after the credits, but as the credits are rolling, the last line hit me so hard, I actually dropped a tear. Okay? Because you think back and you see the setup. You see it when they say it, not what. You don't realise that they set you up for it the entire show, right? In that every time Frieren says goodbye to somebody, it's a short goodbye. Every time that Frieren says, moves on from a situation, it's a short goodbye. And it links it right back to Himmel's comment that it's not, you don't need long and teary goodbyes because that would just be really embarrassing when you meet them again. And it's that assumption that you're going to meet them again in a show where Frieren can't meet so many of these people that she's already said goodbye to and probably never will. She still says a short goodbye because she expects, as long as you keep traveling, I'll probably see them again. And she's taken that on, and just that, I don't know quite why it hit me so hard.
I think know why, because of the origin of that. Why the short goodbye happens just before, and obviously all the lead up and the fan theory behind the relationship between Frieren and that character. You can guess who it is. It's, I think that's why, because realistically she only had a short goodbye and then
no, I can see that. But the only other point I will make on this one with the spoilers up is I had an interesting conversation with Nasuth about how Frieren can be read very much as if she's on the autistic spectrum, and one of the because she can be read that way. She can be read that way as a character. But I actually had something from the last episodes that really kind of hit that that knocked me a little bit off of that course, and that is the fact that they meet another elf who seems to be of a comparable age, but is obviously much, much older, and makes the comment, for her age, she's actually not very skilled. And I'm thinking about that, and I realise that, hang on, if 1,000 years is nothing to an elf, couldn't Frieren actually just be like 15 years old equivalent? And all of her inability to actually empathise and do this is because she spent thousands of years being a teenager. That's why she sleeps in late. That's why she's so difficult to get all these other things. It's all teenage behaviour. and I'm just like, that would be a thing. And that would also explain why she didn't value these things before. Because when we're teens, until we actually find a reason to value something, we don't.
Should we move on?
Yeah, but no. Okay, so that's the end of the spoilers, and I just want to say this is a show I genuinely love, and I will come back and watch this again the next time I want my heart ripped out and left on a little shelf to say, yes, see, this is mine, and it's still beating.
Absolutely loves it. Not enough to give it a 5-star must watch.
Because
shots fired. Issues.
Shots fired.
Feelings are real. Flaws in the show exist.
Yeah.
He's wrong. Right, let's move on.
Did either of you keep a Frieren mimic counter during the show? How many mimics? How many mimics do you know?
I think it was like 15.
As do your thing. Do your show.
All right.
Mostly in the last 5 episodes.
Oh dear. So I really would love to give Bang Bravern a must watch. It is. Oh man, I loved this show, but because of the toku tropes and the comedy aspect, and the parody and everything involved, it can only be an acquired taste 5-star. Can only be. I basically watched this whole show either laughing or with a huge grin because it was just, it's just so fun. It hit all the toku tropes, but it had fun with them at the same time. It wasn't just like, here's gotta hit this trope, gotta hit this trope. No, it was having fun with them at the same time. Every time something gets too serious, there's almost always something hilarious to break the tension, and while that might annoy you in other shows, it kind of makes perfect sense here. doesn't really matter. Like Bravern pulls a lot of stuff just right out of his ass as soon as it's necessary, and that again, that might annoy you in another show, but it makes sense once you learn a few things about Bravern, and also it's fucking awesome. Quality never really drops in animation or writing, as far as I'm concerned. The characters actually have development, although it is a bit slow in some cases, especially with Isami. I will say Isami has a very slow arc before becoming a better person, but it's really just having a lot of fun. It's very joyous in what it's doing. It's there to make you have fun. Did I start the timer? I did start the timer. Using the CGI.
Hold on. To the point about Isami like taking a long time, but that I think that actually really adds to the benefit of the show itself, because like, you know, one of the biggest problems with a lot of tokusatsu shows is the fact that now I'm Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Why aren't you shitting your pants?
Yeah.
Why aren't you just wondering where the fuck did this belt come from? You know? And
it also gives a chance for the relationship between Isami and Smith to grow, which is very important. Oh man, power of brotherhood. Although I think they might. Anyway, I don't want to say that because that's potential spoilers. Anyway, also I really like the way that they use the CGI for all of the mecha stuff. It works really well.
So good.
And lets them focus their animation budget in other areas. So they get, like I said,
it's not just that. Like, so there's one point that I really want to highlight. They cel shaded and baked in the shading into the models, right? It took me a long time to realize this, but as a result, they move like you would expect in anime, where the shading actually moves irregularly to the character, and it makes it so much more seamless, right? It just works so goddamn well for this, and this is how a lot more studios should do it.
This is the same studio that did what was the name of it? Noir something or other.
Synduality Noir?
Synduality Noir, yes. But I think this one did, yes, but I think they did it even better here. I think they learned stuff from that one and utilized it here. I think also the characters in that one were all CGI, whereas this one they're animated with CGI.
The Synduality Noir is they were 2D. The characters were 2D, but the mechas were 3D.
Either way, I think they learned a lot from that one. I think the quality in this one is way better. I love all the characters. I love Lulu. I love Superbia. Even the bad guys. All the bad guys are fun. And just this is a great show. Go watch it. It will have you laughing the entire time. And again, there's definitely an ending to this show, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the final ending if they wanted to do more. I just don't.
It's the final ending.
It's the final ending. It's the final.
And that's
good. And that's good.
That's
good.
It super strong tokusatsu tropes. Super strong.
Super.
Just don't think hard about it.
Don't think too hard about it. You're not supposed to think too hard about it.
Right. I assume we're doing my last one now. Right.
Yeah.
Which is Delicious in Dungeon. Right. So, I'm just going to ask Nasuth first. How many episodes have you watched?
I believe I'm currently 3 episodes behind.
Right, okay.
But this is only the first core, so...
What would you score this?
I think it would still be a must-watch. Probably a 2 or 3 star.
Okay. Thaylien, how many episodes have you watched?
I am 5 episodes behind.
Right. What would you rate this?
I am getting still into the must-watch territory, but only by 1 star, because there is that it's a heavy elements of acquired taste.
Okay, you're both fucking wrong. It's a 5-star must-watch. It is the goddamn tits, right? I am not kidding. You are doing yourselves a disservice.
I know.
Not catching up. It is so goddamn good, right? Everything I was prattling on about last week with the whole slice of life really helps accentuate the narrative, what the characters go through. This is the fucking show, right? Everything that happens in the last 3 episodes, sploosh.
Unfortunately, I've already been spoiled. Not by you, by memes. Fucking memes.
Okay.
but because I haven't actually watched those episodes, I can't. Please. Yeah. Because I haven't watched those, I can't factor them into my rating.
Yeah.
But I will say this show, Undead Unluck, and Bang Bravern were probably the 3 shows that I was most excited to keep watching week to week.
Yeah.
Didn't really keep up with them because they were terrible, but they were the ones I was most. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
The animation is incredible. Like, you often forget you're watching a Studio Trigger, right? Mm-hmm. Most Studio Triggers, they are very the same style. Like, you know, you can see that it's Studio Trigger with Cyberpunk Edge Runner. You can see it Studio Trigger with BNA. You can see it Studio Trigger with Kill la Kill. You effectively see it Studio Trigger with Gurren Lagann, right?
Yeah.
There's so many shows that is Studio Trigger. This does not look like your stereotypical.
Moments. Every now and then it looks like it, but very few.
All right. Now, again, you explore so much of the dungeon. Events of earlier episodes just come back and just swiftly kick you in the ass. Just going, hey, bitch, I'm fucking back. Sploosh. There's going to be splooshes all over this place, right?
I love the whole Undine arc. Like, that whole thing was with the other people that showed up and everything. Like, that was all great. You could already feel it starting to pick up at that point from just being a kind of slow, slice of lifey thing to a much more focused and intent.
You learn so much more about the other characters, right? You learn what makes them tick. You learn what makes them... what drives them, what's their motivation. You see them lying to themselves when in fact their motivations are still pure but not what they claim to be. They're not doing it for selfish reasons. Honestly, it is unfathomably believable, right? The first 10 episodes, the first 10 episodes are just but a taste of the amazing next 3 episodes, and I just hope to the love of God they just keep knocking it out of the park. It is so goddamn good, right? Like, I can't believe what happens in the latest episode. It just sent shivers down my spine, right? And if they keep it up, I'm sorry, this tops Frieren, this tops Apothecary Diaries, this tops so many things. I was just just to say, I thought I was in for a bloody Kobayashi's Dragon Maid the whole way through.
Yeah, even when even though I'm like must watch 2 or 3, I could tell it was going somewhere and would probably get higher.
Well, you too. Well, even private conversations with Loz. He was himself getting frustrated with, hey, can we fucking get back to the whole plot and everything? But then,
which again, with the Undine arc, they're kind of getting that way again by the end of it, and yeah.
And this is only halfway.
Great show.
This is only halfway. It is.
I definitely need to catch up. And it's in English too, so I mean, there's no reason I can't just slap it on another monitor. but that's
I will say though,
that's the problem. I don't want to just slap it on another monitor. I want to watch this. It looks so good. Yeah. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. Right. Are we done? I think we're done. Please, for love of God, watch Delicious in Dungeon.
I think we're done.
Put everything down. Just go watch it. Watch it now. Yeah. Fuck our show. Go watch Delicious in Dungeon.
but then come back.
And then sploosh.
Pause the show. Go away now. We'll be speaking to you when you get back.
Episodes.
Anyway. Right. Honestly, like, again, I'd love...
I just moved us back to this screen. But did we want to? No, the show's gone on long enough. Let's not do it. Let's save it for another time.
Too long.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thaylien wanted to do the preview. What?
So, welcome back, those are people who went and binged Delicious in Dungeon.
Yep. Right.
Moving on to
Okay.
spoiler questions.
So, supporter questions. Riku says, Xeno says, if you like the video, make sure you like it. If you want more content like this and never miss an episode, it's a really good idea to subscribe to. Make sure you hit the little bell thing as well. And let us know what you think of Delicious in Dungeon. Riku7 says, Riku's the coffee demands too much of me, asks, what child-powered mech suit could go up against a Gundam and win? And why can't Escaflowne or an Evangelion?
I don't know about the second question, but clearly the answer to the first question is Ernestine and the mecha in that series.
I'm going to go controversial.
Sorry, Knights of Magic.
Knights of Magic.
So good.
I'm going to go controversial and say Darling in the Franxx. The Franks from there.
Oh my god.
But I know why an Escaflowne and Evangelion come in. An Escaflowne, unfortunately, is all mechanical, not there's no electronics, and so just like take him in the upper atmosphere, he
yeah, fair enough.
Just go from hypoxia, and an Evangelion can't fly.
Yeah. Well,
so just go out of range and just
if you really want to get technical, you can, but.
It technically can, yes. But still.
Kind of has to destroy the world to do it,
I'd say Death Scythe just solos the Evangelion team.
Okay. So I need to look up what the heck the...
He's looking up a mech.
No, I'm looking up the show. So Zrugel asks... do you know who recommended Grand Crescent War to me?
Grand Crest
War to me.
No.
And I'm looking this up. It's like the record of Grand Crest War. Have I seen this?
Definitely wasn't my recommendation.
I haven't seen it. It sounds like I'm not going to either.
I have. I don't know if I have or not. Have I seen this?
Could it have been Loz back when he was on the show?
No, I don't think so.
Well, Zrugel, to answer your second question, Zeno doesn't know if he's seen it. Sorry to hear you hated it, though.
I haven't marked it as if I've watched it. Source is Crunchyroll. I feel like I have watched.
You probably tried to watch 3 episodes and then gave up on it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I genuinely tried to watch this and I got bored of it because there's another one, I think it's like Blue Crest or something like that. Fantasy of Blue Crest or something, but I watched it on Netflix. And I quite enjoyed that one, but Record of Grand Crest, I don't know, maybe I have watched it. Where's the rest of this? Have you seen Grand Crest War? What did you think of it?
Who knows?
Who knows? Right. JPEG Boy asks, did Nasuth make it through to the end without having an aneurysm? Someone give that scarf a cookie. No, he didn't. He, the argument between Thaylien and Nasuth about, I can't remember which show it was, but that was hilarious. I was having so much fun. JPEG Boy also asks, would you give Nasuth a cookie if he wasn't an ocean away?
Here, have one.
Depends if I have any spare. Right.
Chucky Bicky, go for it.
Gross. Right, okay. So moving on to the comments. First of all, from the news, Stromba Shell says, wait, why was Thaylien eating out of a dog bowl? Yeah, exactly! I fucking call it dog bowl! Right. For that Pokemon...
decided to name one of my cooking bowls that I have. I have some...
What are you opening?
Expensive set of mixing bowls. And I'm putting away the cookie. it's a really expensive set of mixing bowls, and Xeno for some reason thinks it's a dog bowl because he's got wrong-shaped dog bowls.
It's a fucking dog bowl. Yeah.
He's serving bowls. Dogs out of bowls that are not suited for dog food.
It's a dog bowl. Right, for that Pokemon bike, I was gonna say, truly, we're living in the future, but it's just Japan as usual. But it is but is it a real bike or is it stationary carnival ride? I think it's a stationary carnival ride.
I think they said it is rideable, but like that one was clearly just set up as a demonstration.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, I wish someone was making a Dune anime. That'd be awesome. A set of pictures. Yeah.
That was such a weak crossover.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Zrugel says, I really want to watch a VR movie. It sounds so cool. I randomly saw the Sandland game demo on Steam the other day. If anyone tries it, let me know how it is.
I need to try it. I desperately need to try it.
I didn't see it. And I don't need to have my root beer in a cup, but I don't like the flavor of slurping it.
I have no idea what that was in relation to, but
I am very confused.
I think we had a brief moment of cans versus bottles or something like that.
Who knows?
I have no idea. Right.
Cans of
is that supposed to be 0x? Or
it's either
Xerox?
0x or Xerox. I think it might be Xerox because of the 6x7 after their...
Okay, Xerox 6x7. Dungeon Meshi feels like slice of life at first, but it isn't.
That's
so true. Truer words were never said. Right. Zrugel says, I can understand that you live daily life, so people like Nasuth don't want to watch more of the same, but I want to watch everyday life that looks like mine. Fair. Thaylien, you sound congested. I hope you feel better by the time Xeno reads this on the next episode. Were you ill last time? I can't remember.
I had been ill, yes.
All right, okay.
I had been really quite ill, so thank you for noticing. Thank you for your support.
At 13:03, Mystery Sound. At 24:10... now it's time. Nasuth just keeps talking because nobody tells him to stop interrupting.
I forgot to mute you guys when my internet cut, and so it just played all the way through. You guys were going,
"Yep."
Why isn't Nasuth talking? What happened? Did we lose him? And I'm sitting here making my points.
Yep. I absolutely agree that a good slice of life or anything really has character growth, and not that any character growth is at least in part slice of life. I am now adding a place further than the universe to my watch list. In response to Xeno cutting the breaks out of the news episode, I kind of like the break. The episodes are long, but it gives the news story some time to breathe. But I will admit that the cuts feel concise and professional. So I'm going to keep doing them then. I feel like that Frieren in the car meme was slice of life. It was.
Definitely slice of Frieren life if she'd been there.
Yeah. And it was, I think it was one of our first memes in a very long time that got us copyright struck, and it wasn't you that did it.
Crazy.
Right. So Strombus Shell says, slice of life... Hold on, I took my glasses off like an idiot. Slice of life can be good, but I have to be interested in the characters first. The first episode or two have to hook me before I'll watch someone else's boring life. That is very true, but I also feel that it needs to maintain that upward trend, because that was the problem with... what was it called? The Masterful Cat one, I can't remember what it was called in total.
Oh yes.
Masterful Cat is depressed again today.
Yes, that's the one. Right. You guys talk a lot about the concept of slice of life and less about good slice of life shows and what makes them good. It's because Nasuth will just turn off the recording if we did that.
Yeah.
I do apologise, but we do have somebody that will, in fact, cut his internet on purpose, if that
You really will. I think my favourite villain is...
Janemba?
Good choice.
I have no idea who that is.
Villain. One from one of the movies.
From what movies?
The DBZ movies.
Okay. He was cool and uncomplicated, and Garlic Jr. Was a great answer for the worst villain. Oh god, he's so bad. I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for the memes. Let's do the memes.
Memes.
The best part of the show. The whole reason why you put up with us for 3+ hours is for the memes. And yeah, all the memes that we collect are pretty much from Reddit and Reddit alone. Hey, look, you can actually see Thaylien in the reflection there.
Oh, neat.
Double Thaylien. My fucking finger. Yeah, double Thaylien. Anyway, let's do this.
Right, we got 4 viewer memes and 2 spicy memes from Xeno.
Yeah.
4 memes
let's start
from the viewers. All submitted to our Discord.
Yep, exactly. Come to Discord, submit your memes. We'll totally look at them. And our first one. Hey, do you know when the next bus is? Soon. How soon?
Oh, good old Frieren.
4 ways to become a Super Saiyan. Anger, pressure, sorrow. I wanna.
Brilliant. Love it.
Princess Vegeta. What YouTube anime my recommended videos after I watched this? What? Yes. Yep.
Oh my
100%.
God. Dude. So, minor tangent. I found a feature, or I was linked to a feature in YouTube that shows you like what your audience, not specific people, but what your audience actually search, and it is surprising. Apparently, the number of people that will actually search for first anime episode dub.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or episodes 1 to 12 English dub. You know.
That doesn't surprise me too much. There's a surprising amount of anime on YouTube, older stuff mainly, but yeah. And number 4.
Focus your chakra on your feet. Like this. He's a good boy.
God. Oh my
He's a
god.
good boy.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Right, on to mine. Meanwhile, in a typical rom-com, this ramen is my girlfriend.
What?
Yep, there you go. You can only pick one. Choose wisely. An elf girlfriend, she loves you. A dwarf grill friend will make free meat for you. I know who I'm picking.
Senshi.
Yep, 100% Senshi.
You are clearly not as horny as I am.
Number 3. Marketing is just smart people paying beautiful people to promote to insecure people. It's true.
Yeah, wow.
True.
I mean, jeez.
Right, my next 2 are videos. Oh, sorry, it's on loop. Shit, sorry. This one probably is too. Yep. Just quickly move away from that before it gets us copyright struck. Probably already has. Finally, hey Sarge, are there any bugs out there that can walk upright? No such thing, cadet. Follow-up question: do any of them have their own theme music?
Yep.
He is for priceless. The look upon your faces.
Yeah. I forgot. I should have made those memes not loop. Oh well. Foolish me. Anyway, on to Thaliens.
Greatest hairstyles in anime. Short hair, Hime cut. Twin tails, American.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Wow.
You're not wrong.
This is what you youngins are into, right? The grimoire of Skibbity, New Testament fun attacks.
No.
Okay.
This is just going to inflict mental damage.
What? What?
Oh, that's
what
Luffy.
the fuck?
It's a shop selling religious idols, and it's Luffy's god transformation.
Oh my god.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense to me.
Carved and everything.
Oh my god.
Japan ranks you as the cutest anime girl of all time. Wait, what do you mean it's that blue-haired maid? Because she's also called Rem. I think it's time to shave. Why, Vegeta? I think we look cool like Spartans. Because I can't see anything when I can draw on the platform. Oh, yeah.
Isn't there like a plot point where their hair can't change or things like that?
Yeah,
like they
pretty
never
much.
have to cut their hair because it's like
Yes.
it's just like
No,
And
how the fuck
Vegeta's
did
dad
Nappa
had a beard.
No, but how the fuck did Nappa grow a mustache? Like, did he just come? Like, just
Yeah.
assume
Yeah,
they came
They
out
can-
the womb with a mustache?
they can grow beards and moustaches, but
If they
the
want
main
to?
head doesn't change
Oh,
unless
okay.
they physically cut it. And Nappa basically shaves his head bald because
Okay.
he did have hair in earlier flashbacks.
I still like the idea we
Still.
came out of the womb with a mustache. Moving on.
Mustache. And then his last one is a video meme.
Look at you, you're a closet virgin, senpai. You know, you're acting really sus. I bet you never even touched a girl, senpai. I bet you get sick fantasies every time you see me, senpai.
Oh, I'm glad that one's on
God.
loop.
That's fucking nightmare fuel.
Yes, but this is off of one of the earlier. This is one of last week's memes where somebody put all of the expressions and just
Yes.
put Ed there as well to
Oh
compare
my
to.
god.
And yes, it's just
Oh
evolved.
my god.
Oh,
Right.
on to Xeno's.
My first one. Would you rather Dino Nuggies or a fox girl who loves you?
Nuggies.
Now, okay, in this case, I'm clearly hungrier than I am horny.
Then why didn't you go for Senshi? What the hell, man? He would make you food. Okay. He would make you Dino Nuggies.
I don't think he would.
I think he fucking would. Right.
All right,
next
into
one.
the NSFW memes. There are two right in a row.
Yeah. Compressors, hammers, air tools, wrenches, gloves, tiger downs, ropes and chains, lubricant.
Yep.
We got
Yeah.
that.
All right.
Yup.
Number two. Well, number
three.
three, actually, but yes.
Oh, if
Uh-huh.
you've seen
I've
Reddit,
seen- Yep.
yeah, Reddit's
Yeah.
Reddit's losing its shit.
She's pregnant, so it's okay, apparently. I don't know.
Oh my god! Have you
That's what I've heard.
seen? Have you seen
No,
ReZero?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't get through it, but I've seen enough memes.
I tried
Season
watching
one
the first
is-
episode and I couldn't make it.
Season 1 is hard.
Yeah.
Season 2 is actually really good. So I'm looking forward. Well, I'm looking forward for season 3 for a different reason. But yeah, let's keep going.
Not this reason.
Not this one. Not before. I feel like the journey to the north would have been like, so much easier. So, right, number 5.
I think that's far too much effort for Frieren.
Therapist. All dreams have meaning.
Oh my
dream.
god.
This one's funny because I would have put Fern there instead.
Yeah.
Fern's
Oh,
staff
yeah.
is a sniper
Yeah.
rifle.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then my last meme.
which is also a video. Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it is a shoujo anime. Yep. It sure is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You may not realize it, but it is.
Yep. Right. So that is it for this week's long episode, but we had so much to say.
God.
We did.
And yeah, so that is it. We will see you for next week. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai.
Kanpai.
Kanpai. You changed your cup. Why'd you change your cup? I don't like the fact that you changed your cup.
Because
Change it back. Put
I
it back.
drank it.
Put it back. Put it back. Put it back.
Just there we go.
There we go.